Sunday evening
from 6:05 to 7 p.m.
Good evening and welcome to The Big Stories. The Big Stories is a current affairs program on your talk news and sports radio station Today95.1 FM, where we review events and issues that made news headlines for the past 7 days. I'm your host for today, Priye Izogo. I will not be doing it alone. Yes, we're expecting some other journalists to join us in the studio, but you know how sometimes it can be crazy in Port Harcourt. Get into the studio when you're coming from different parts of the state. We have the beautiful Ifunanya Bemendukwe joining us, part of the news department. Ifunanya, good evening.
Good evening, Priye.
Let's start with big shout out, happy birthday to the former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amaechi. He's done 60. 60 is no mean feat. But in politics, 60 is more like a youth.
Yeah.
What do you think, so Ifunanya? He still looks very, very young.
He's not yet qualified to be president. He's still a young man.
Yeah, looking at the antecedents of the past two presidents, he's a very young man.
Yeah, he's still a very young man.
A very young man, 60. Well, God bless him. So let's look at his event, more like a reception for him and what played out in that particular event. We saw what the former vice president said. We saw what Bishop Onakan said. We listened to what El Rufai said, and they're all saying the same thing, talking about starvation, politicians weaponizing poverty when it comes to the issues affecting Nigerians, the common Nigerians. They said the current administration has failed. He made mention about saving money for that of Rotimi Amaechi. You said you've removed subsidy, a very nice plan, but it seems like people are relooting the money you claim you saved, and you're giving more to the states, the government in general. Looking at some of the statements, do you think more like some of these statements are coming from people that were part of what has led us to this point? And some will say, is it not hypocrisy? You were part of just the last administration. A typical example, right, Rotimi Amaechi. He was the Minister for Transportation in the last administration. He just left office barely 2 years ago. Same with that of El Rufai, Governor of Kaduna State, Burutai. Burutai is now talking about a better Nigeria. Burutai was the Chief of Army Staff. He didn't protect Nigerians just some couple of years back. He left office as a Nigerian ambassador to Benin Republic. Yeah. You can go on and on mentioning names. These are people that have been part of the system for a very long time. Do you think they have moral right to actually say what they're saying, Ifunanya?
Well, a lot of persons will say they do not have moral rights, but I like to pick, the message and probably forget the messenger. And what a lot of them said, it's truthfully not far from the truth. I'll start with what Amaechi said, talking about the subsidy money being reduced. He's not the first person to say it. I mean, so many persons have said it. He's also not the first person to accuse, these governments, the government agency of relooting, recovered funds. For instance, Apabio, I think last week or last 2 weeks, also made an allegation that the EFCC, the money they're recovering, it's also still being relooted. So it's really not far from the truth, because when you look around, you really can't tell, what are they using the money for. Some persons will say they've shared, some of the money they're making, they've, distributed it to state governments. It's not far from the truth. It's actually being relooted. They also talked about poverty being weaponized. I think that's not news. Everybody knows that in Nigeria, it's not the Tinubu government, so they shouldn't paint it as a Tinubu government issue.
But on that, I actually watched that particular event yesterday. Erifai made mention of something. He said, are we not eulogizing the politicians that are smart enough? See, they are not smart enough. A lot of them are not smart enough to come up with a strategy to weaponize, use poverty as a weapon. They are just stealing. It's not that they are smart, like they want to use it as a weapon to make Nigeria support them or no.
I don't think you need to be a genius to use poverty as a weapon in Nigerian politics. And like I said, it didn't start today. It's not a Tinubu government thing. So when they try to make it seem like it started now, it's not a new thing. Even in Rivers State, we say it. A lot of Rivers people, a lot of young Rivers people are very lazy. When you go out there, You see a lot of them on social media typing and all. When you go to certain location, you see them begging, these their chairman or these their
political leaders.
Political leaders, for a list of 10,000, 20 naira to, feed themselves. They starve these people, refuse to give them opportunities. We're not talking about politicians that are really smart. That's why I said you don't need to be a genius to use poverty as a weapon to hold down the Nigerian youth. So truthfully, they all said the right thing about them coming out to speak despite being part of the previous government. I totally agree. I'll give, for instance, Amechi was part of the last administration. And the Buhari's administration, we can't lie, it destroyed the Nigerian's economy. Nobody would lie. I mean, we didn't come out, smoothly, unlike Jonathan's time when, there were little challenges, but we cannot also lie that the Nigerian economy was doing great in Africa. Probably becoming somewhat a threat, to the to the Western world. So when you look at the Buhari's administration, I'm not sure how they managed the situation that it didn't get to the point where we are today at the Tinubu's administration. But the truth is, Buhari left his government and the Nigerian economy at a terrible state. And a lot of persons will say, but you, Amechi, were part of the government. Yes, he was part of the government. So it's safe to say he's part of the problem. Truthfully, he is one of the problem. But the difference between Amechi and the others is that he doesn't fail to say he's part of the problem. Because he will tell you, we are the people. We do this, we do that. He doesn't always, single himself out to say he's a saint. He finds a way to say, oh, I'm part of the problem. I remember there was a time he said, I think there was a time he said when youths, that was an old interview, when he said a time will come when youths will revolt against us. The reason we are doing what we are doing as politicians is because the youths, can't come out to say anything. And that was when he was the governor. So despite him being part of the problem, he has never failed to say he's actually part of the problem. That's the difference between him and some other people who come out and forget that, they supported, the previous administration. The likes of Adams Oshomole, we had a conversation some days ago. Adams Oshomole was the national chairman of the APC. He was fully involved in the last administration, but suddenly everybody is trying to, throw the Buhari's administration under the bus, despite, they were part of it. So the truth is, yes, they do not have the moral right, but we also have to take the message that they are coming, and the message is that there is poverty, there is hunger. Is poverty being weaponized? Yes, but it did not start from the Tinubu's administration.
Now let's look at the coalition. And they made mention of, yes, they are conspirators. That's in quote, that's the word they use. They are ready to sit together and try to form a political movement that will unseat in the government of President Tinubu. People say with the strategy of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu starting very early. You're looking at celebrating 1 year in government, 6 months in government, 2 years in government. The party is shouting, oh, you are so candidate. Everybody is prepared for the next election, 2 years to the election. With a lot of political strategy, do you think the coalition can get something out of the system? Can they unseat the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Well, I think it's a 50-50. It's a 50-50 because it's quite too early to conclude. It's too early for the president, to come out like, he has finally won because, he's doing so great, according to his party members. It's also too early for the coalition, to assume that they have all it takes to win. Well, the coalition would not succeed if they are not united enough. A lot of them in that coalition are very ambitious people. And the question is how many persons are willing to step down, to support others. Look at what happened in the APC. I think when APC was formed, they all rallied around, Buhari, as the candidates. What was the aim? The aim was to bring down the Jonathan's administration, and we saw how that unity, made Jonathan to lose the election. So the question is, the coalition, are they willing? Because like I said, they are too ambitious. A lot of them are ambitious. The article has, I think my younger brother was telling me some days that if he contests again, he will be the highest person that has contested election, probably in Nigeria, or in the world. I think that would be his sixth, or his seventh time, in contesting, an election. So the truth is, they are all very ambitious, but are they willing to step down for the right candidate? Not about someone, because I think, like if FCT minister said, in Nigeria we look at, who will win election, not who will make Nigeria great. So the question is, will they choose the right candidate? Will they all rally around? Or,
that can win election?
Well, I don't believe in that can win election. If for me, when they say that can win election, it's about who can rig. That's the truth. But when you're looking at candidates who can make this country change, truthfully, if political parties, coalitions come and, they present these people and let the Nigerian people choose them, I think we'll be making the right choices. So at the end of the day, it's a matter of if they can, forgo their own ambitions and say, okay, this is the best person for, that can actually, run against, the president. Therefore, the president's side, I think they are revealing too much. It's a bit too early. A lot of persons are defecting here and there. Tomorrow, some persons may still defect, but we know how the Nigerian politics works.
Okay, now let's move to the next story. The presidency has denied reports that international oil companies, IOCs, are exiting Nigeria, stating that they are merely rebalancing and restructuring their operations. This move is seen as a positive sign for the Nigerian economy. We have seen a lot of movement from the onshore to the offshore. We have seen some of these multinational companies selling off their onshore assets. Should Nigeria be scared?
Well, I'll still say it's a two-way thing. Should Nigeria be scared? I think Nigeria should be concerned because the moment international companies are leaving the country, it sends a signal to those who also want to invest, because people are asking, why are you leaving? I mean, I thought this country is a big market where, the moment you go in there, you can thrive, you can sell and all of that. So I think in that essence, it's a bit, we have to be really concerned about what's, the message that we're passing out there. And on the other hand, probably maybe if we have our local, companies competing and taking over, probably, we'll do better. But then there's one other thing. When people say the foreign companies are leaving, people need to understand that these foreign companies, Nigeria has the highest amount of shares. So at the end of the day, Shell is owned by Nigeria, Mobil is owned by Nigeria, Total is owned by Nigeria, Ajib that was just sold to Oando, when you check the shares, the Nigerian government holds the highest. So at the end of the day, I just hope as they are leaving, we have the right people who will be buying and be doing the right thing and making the right decisions.
Okay, let's move to the next story. Then if I just caught my attention to the issue of the refinery, Port Harcourt refinery. We all celebrated. We thought what we are actually at the climax when it comes to production of some of PMS and basically some other byproducts of crude oil in our local refineries. A lot of people are happy that Port Harcourt refinery is back. Some are saying the Warri refinery is as good as rolling out some couple of PMS too, and including the Kaduna refinery. But it seems like we are back to square one. We are talking about maintenance just few months after we have maintained. What is it about maintenance?
That's for 30 days. I think the truth is, I've tried, to get reactions from some petroleum marketers to really know what's going on, because ordinarily as a journalist,
there's a lot of dark ends.
Yes, you can actually access that place. Nobody will allow you to go in there, to
except you're joining a team.
Exactly, except you're joining a team. Someone that also has access. Probably you go there as an investigative journalist and then you find out what's going on there. But the truth is, I've not been able to get anybody to tell me what's going on. And they want to question, you're selling it for 50,000. No, can you give me for maybe 20,000? And the person is looking at you like, man, I get that from you if you know one buy. So the truth is, yes, they actually play a role, in influencing the cost of living. They play a role in the cost of housing. I remember we had a conversation with, I think it's Uchendu, and he was telling us about how there's a particular place where it was how much for that house.
People will just pay rent and
they
leave
just pay,
it.
they're not even living inside. So you have, the truth is, they are basically part of those influencing. They buy without questioning. They don't bid price with you. The people who are selling are interested in who will give them money without question. Even if they get to inflate the price by 100%, they don't care. So the truth is, we have a lot to do. Government needs to do something while our youths are lazy and they're looking for quick money.
In 3 sentences, we'll do general. We have ended the show, but in 3 sentences, if Naya, do you think the Bola Ahmed Tinubu with their economic policies, do you think they will make headway before the next general election 2027?
They will not make headway.
Really?
That's the truth. That's the truth. I look at the dollar, I look at the exchange rate, I look at how things are, I look at government generally, even the very little things as WAEC and JAMB, they're doing very poorly. Look at the police. No, They're not making headway.
Thank you
If
very
they do,
much.
praise the Lord.
Thank you very much, Ifunaya Bemandukwe. I am Priezo. This was a newsroom production. Definitely the big story making a return next week. Good evening.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Today 95.1 FM. Where news meets insight, sports meets passion, and entertainment meets excellence. Expert analysis from seasoned professionals and our top analysts, informing, educating, and entertaining you. Your voice, your station. We are the voice of the people.
Think about the generations and to say we want to make it a better place for our children and our children's children, so that they know it's a better world for them and think they can make it a better place.
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And this place is much brighter than tomorrow. And if you really try, you'll find there's no need to cry. In this place, you feel there's no hurt or sorrow. There are ways to get there if you care enough for the living. Make a little space, make a better place. Heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better place for you and for me.
Well, it's a beautiful Sunday evening, the first day in the month of June 2025. Thank you so much for staying right here with us on Today 95.1fm, Voice of the People. Happy New Month, right? We started this evening with a news update and then big stories. Now it's Doctor in the House. Afterwards, Cruise Control. 9 o'clock, Sunday Family Special. 10 o'clock, the World News. And a number of information for you to listen and get entertained and informed with. This is a space to be. How has your day been? I mean, you should be excited about the new month. I don't know, a lot of people might not be, especially if you're calculating too much. But it's exciting to get into a new month, a new day. Newness just brings this breath of fresh air. And talking about breath of fresh air, right? I mean, that's why it's great that we're going to be having the conversation that we're having this evening on Doctor in the House. My name is Queen Chima. Welcome. All right, so I just said breath of fresh air, the newness that comes and brings that relief of breathing. Okay. Here we are. Now we're going to be talking about your health as we usually do on the show. Doctor in the House comes up every Sunday evening, 7 to 8 p.m. But today is going to be oral health and hygiene. We want to talk about your oral health and your hygiene. Sometimes when you think about oral health, you want to maybe associate it to only your teeth, how white it is or not so white it is, the kind of toothpaste or mouthwash that you use. But I'm thinking that it's more than that. Those could be part of it, but a number of other factors. What does oral health and hygiene truly mean? How can you maintain 100% oral health? We're going to be having all that conversation here on the show, Doctor in the House. So whatever you're doing, it's important that you take a listen because you don't want to miss anything. The very popular thing that you know is getting offensive because someone has a mouth odor. I mean, it's something that you can't stand. Right. So, but for you who you think you have a perfect oral hygiene, there might just be something you're missing out. Right. So you want to get every detail on the show. And if you think that you perceive that your oral health is not 100%, you can also take a listen to the show or call someone. I think you should listen to the show. I don't know, if you're calling someone to listen to this show now, we're talking oral health, the person will start feeling, do I have an oral issue? But then whoever would benefit from the show should listen. And I have my guest in the studio, Prince Will Heavendos. Thank you so much for joining me this evening.
Thanks so much for having me, Queen.
Good to have you. I mean, I just said, if you imagine someone picking up the phone and say, there's a show I want you to listen to on the radio, there's this topic that you have discussed. If you were the one, how would you feel?
I know you're doing me good, yeah.
Are you sure? Are you sure
you're telling me to go and do that? I'll do it personally.
You do it. Are you sure? You would not start thinking, wait.
I would appreciate that feedback, because it has been happening and how many people haven't told me, but you're telling me. You're a good friend, yeah.
Well, that's you. I think not everyone has been able to develop themselves to take feedback gracefully, right? So maybe you would take it like, oh, really? Okay, I want to listen. But some people, if I were the one and you call me and tell me there's a show going on and they want to discuss oral health, I think you should listen. I'll start putting my breath in my hand like, do I have oral issues? Thank you so much for joining me, Prince Heavendos. All right, we also have Oganemaga who's joined. Good evening, Oganemaga.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, let's get your mic. All right,
thank you very much.
Right. All right. So I was just asking Prince for Heavendos. I was telling the listener that call someone to join the show, and I said if someone called you and said to you, "There's a show going on the radio. They're saying something very important. I want you to join," and then you join and they are discussing oral health. How would you feel?
It will feel funny. Like when Prince reached out to me, when Dr. Heavendos reached out to me this morning and told me the specific topic that we'll be talking about, I was surprised. I was surprised because if I'm saying something, make person not go to say now because of how. Like the whole thing. If you're
one of my friends, this is my friend.
Yeah. So that was just it. it's a topic that people are really afraid of. People can hear because I think some people can even go a day. Maybe if there's no water, they can just not bath. But then you see brush.
Yes.
It's a crazy description to be like that guy.
I mean, we talk a lot of times, and you should have fresh breath.
Yes.
But I know that's not all about oral hygiene, right?
Course,
so we're going to get straight into it. What is oral hygiene, Prince of Heaven knows? When we say oral health and hygiene, what does that mean?
So when we're talking oral health, we're looking at everything that has to do with your mouth, how clean it is, how fresh it smells, and how aesthetic it looks. So it goes beyond what we're seeing. It goes into what we're smelling too. So oral health is, it's a complex, or it's a compendium of what happens to the oral cavity, how hygienic it is, how clean it is, and how not so clean. So that's the health. Health is the general state of well-being of your mouth.
All right. So you want to add something to that?
Well, yeah, like you just put the general state of well-being, just the state of well-being of the mouth, including the teeth, the gums, the tongue, the cheeks, every part of the mouth basically, and it's also linked to the normal worded organization definition of health, being encompassing physical, social, and mental well-being. So the mouth being in a state of proper health, like in a state of there is no problem, like it's not just that there is no disease basically, it's just that the person is healthy in total, because if there's no disease per se, and then maybe there's a crooked appearance in the teeth, maybe there's some kind of growth, abnormal in quotes, tooth growth, or maybe something that makes the person feel uncomfortable about their smile, or something that might make them get braces eventually. So the fact that there is no threat to life does not imply that the person is healthy, because they might have like mental health and appearance and body image. So it's the definition of health generally is like a very broad thing.
So one might just be wondering, if we're talking oral health and hygiene, why is that important to overall well-being? Why?
Well, yeah, because basically I'm not a dentist, so like it's just medicine quotes. But then we do postings for dentistry, and we have we learn them based on like public health significance, especially the tooth decay or dental caries that they're called. So basically it's important because it will prevent some of the very common pathological conditions of the mouth, basically, including tooth decay, that's dental caries, then even periodontitis, gingivitis, that's inflammation of the gums, gum disease. Those are really painful and can make the teeth to fall off. You get so, that oral health is really important, because your smile, the way you talk, the way you communicate can be affected. Your confidence, even your well-being, totally, for your systemic well-being, because sometimes there are some lymph nodes or vessels that drain the teeth and the gums and around the area that can also go into the head and neck and all that. So basically there are even some infections that can be like, even that dental case. I saw a case one time where the patient had there was like somehow like it spread down to even the neck, other parts of the body. So that's like a thing that can happen. So dentistry, when people imagine dentistry at times, you just think teeth, not just teeth now. They will make fun of like dentists. Like we used to do it when we were younger, because we have them as cosmets and stuff. So we used to tease them. But not like serious, we used to tease them that it's just not just mouth, just teeth. But the mouth is a very important part of the head and neck. You get so if there is any pathological condition there, if it's not well taken care of, then you might have all this normal, because there's something called flora. Because basically, in every part of the body, there are microorganisms that are supposed to be there, and even keeping the place somehow healthy, because they'll prevent growth of other dangerous ones, or they will even help you digest food at times, or some of them even use some acids. We'll get down to that. So if all these things lose their normal state, if you are not hygienic enough, if you don't pay attention to oral health, it can pose a problem, even a systemic problem, not just even for the teeth.
Yeah, I thought to ask that question, right? Really, because someone just thinks oral health, my mouth, teeth, how does that affect my entire body or other parts of my body? You don't want to add to that, Prince, for heaven?
So, well, I think that the first thing people see your smile, and then if we're talking how important it is, that it goes into each and every system, because no matter where you are, you have to smile. You have to.
Well, some people don't think they should smile.
No, at least.
I mean, I've heard someone say smile once a year.
As you're talking, your teeth show.
Yeah.
So it's very important because it affects your confidence, affects your aesthetics. Now everybody's taking pictures and all of that. So, and then it even goes into the message you're trying to pass, right? So I don't think I'll take you seriously if you don't have good oral hygiene. I don't think I'll take you seriously in passing that message. So it's very important in our social life. It's very important for the mental well-being of the person, the emotional state of that same person too. So not just should I say the medical part of it, right? Or not just the disease and the health part, but we're also talking about the psychological state of such people too. So it's very important in our daily lives. Very, very important.
Sorry, just to add, even like if we even narrow it down to the mouth, if you have a dental caries situation and you have toothache, toothache is one of the most painful things that can happen to a person. Like when you see how that thing is, so it can affect productivity, efficiency. You might not be able to do what you want to do because the pain is sometimes unbearable. I've actually seen it happen, and I was surprised.
I mean, you see adults crying.
The person was just walking away, like it was in the night. We're together, and then she just stood up, just walking away, just going to go and look for remedy as much as possible. She was crying, going.
Definitely.
It is excruciating. That's what.
Yeah. Sometimes when we talk about oral health and hygiene, for a lot of people, what comes to mind first is brushing the teeth, and that's like, if I do that, especially for the ones who are. Who keep to morning night, right? For the ones who don't do morning night, but then if you keep morning night, like, I brush my teeth, and so that's I guess that should be all. Is that what it is?
Well, brushing twice a day, it's almost like it gives you a good starting point, right? But it goes beyond that. But that's a very, very applaudable routine. To brush twice a day, brush your teeth, and at least remove the the remains that could from the biofilm and all of that. So I would applaud the person and say yes, you've done well, but that is not all.
Okay,
that is not all.
So the people who brush once, they haven't done well.
No. If you're brushing once, you've tried. You've tried. Yes.
Okay. So
and there's also the how you brush, because it's better you brush after you eat. Like in the morning, you don't go and start brushing, then you now eat after. It's better you brush after you've eaten.
Yeah, a lot of people find it very, very irritating.
Before you brush.
You rinse your mouth first now. If you feel that's uncomfortable, you rinse your mouth first.
But I know that when you brush twice and wake up in the morning, you feel a lot fresher.
Yeah.
So it's easier to have breakfast than you brush.
Yes,
but the problem I don't know if a lot of people have that same problem, is when I take breakfast and then brush after, I'm literally throwing up everything I had. I've eaten. This is the way I brush.
When you're brushing, that means you're brushing so intense.
Or maybe you are overly sensitive. Maybe your reflexes are overly sensitive.
Yes, so it's not so intense, but everything just comes out. Really? Because I probably am done with breakfast. I want to eat and I want to brush rather and step out of the house. And I'm trying, and everything is coming out. So I said, I don't know. I have to brush before eating.
You might want to employ the services of basically the services of a mouthwash. Maybe you finish eating, then you now use mouthwash. Maybe that might help you, since you have a peculiarity.
I think it comes from how you're brushing your tongue. Really, you're probably going so deep, and then you kind of irritate the epiglottis area and all of that, and then you just kind of like have to bring that reflex of vomiting.
Vomiting. All right, so is oral hygiene, is it unique to different ages? I mean, talk about babies when they're born, and you see the way they take care of their mouth and everything, and then the baby's growing 4 or 5 mothers are really struggling with their kids to brush. Have you tried to tell a 5-year-old to brush his teeth or her teeth, and they're taking in the paste, the toothpaste? It's difficult to brush and all. Is it different, and how do people manage these? I mean, in terms of ages and all.
Well, for me, I think the most outstanding thing for me thus far is when I've seen a mother of a baby, and how they don't use, they kind of like used one kind of like
cotton bud, something
of that nature, put in the mouth of the child, swab, and do the tongue, and then your child is okay and all of that. So yeah, it's so peculiar in the different ages, especially when you compare the newborn, then 6-year-olds when they are with their milk teeth, and then eventually they grow into having permanent teeth and all that. So if a child is able to go through such discipline, no matter how we're doing it, even if we're combining it with mouthwash, but brushing and giving that oral hygiene, it kind of grows with you. So you see such children, their permanent teeth are better. So they might have a few caries when they have milk teeth, but eventually it becomes better because they've mastered it. So I think it has to do with the psychology of the different ages and being able to overcome that maturity obstacle. So that's where the peculiarity comes in.
Okay. So back to eating, having breakfast before brushing. Why is that important?
Well, because basically the how of the generation of, or the genesis of tooth decay basically is because of food particles in the mouth, particularly the ones that are high in like sugar. So if you brush first and then eat later, it's not as preferable as brushing after you've eaten, so that you can clean out the debris that is left, those sugary debris especially, that microorganisms will act on and form plaque and then harden, form tartar, and then start to decay the teeth or even the gums too. So it's just better. But it doesn't mean it's not very bad, but it's just better. I got this from a dentist actually. Like, just told me that it's better you brush after you finish eating. Even when you're about to sleep at night, they say like the last thing you should do before you sleep. Because after you've eaten, don't go and eat after you brushed again, then sleep. Especially when you are sleeping, I think the saliva reduces that you produce when you are asleep. So then there is no, because saliva has some really protective lactoferrin, lysozymes, many things that can prevent basically bacterial growth. Yeah. So if you have like reduced salivary secretion at that time, and your mouth is like closed, so at that time, and then there's all those presence, and the microorganisms get very active at that time, and then decay everything and turn them to acids. They can start to disintegrate your teeth. So you might want to. So the last thing you should do before you sleep is you should brush your teeth after you've eaten. So no matter what, so it's just better to brush after you finish eating and clear out the debris, so you have less things for the bacteria to feast on.
So I mean, in the morning, if you're not comfortable with eating after brushing, so if you're comfortable with brushing before eating, can you eat and no? Can you eat and then take lots of water? So okay, I think water does the cleansing or clearing.
Water is really good for the mouth. Like, it's also one of the things you should do apart from brushing twice a day and flossing once a day. You should also take a lot of water. So it's also one of the things you should take also. Then for a peculiar condition, or a peculiar situation where you don't like, or there's something that might go wrong, because vomiting is not really, it's kind of, it basically ruins everything, because you are bringing what is inside back out, and then you just have to brush again. Yeah. So it not be better to
defeats the aim.
And so it can defeat the aim. So if that is the case, so you might just want to use the mouthwash. Maybe after just use those Siderine, or what are they called? There's a name they're called. Listerine mouthwashes, and those ones I have, so that would be good also.
All right, we're going to get straight into oral health hygiene care. I mean, daily care and those activities that you should engage in to ensure 100% or overall oral hygiene. If you're just tuned in, it's Today 95 FM, voice of the people. And we have been discussing oral health and hygiene. I've been talking to Prince Will Heaven Knows and Ogene Maga.
Oh, yes.
If you have been listening, I mean, it's not just brushing. There's so much more to it. The theory of, eat before you brush in the morning. I think someone used to say it's therapeutic. I know someone used to say it's therapeutic. The fact that you eat before you brush, but it can be difficult for you. But then you've listened to how you can navigate that. What oral health and hygiene is, but again, it's just brushing. Your teeth. It's also about the way that you brush. Oganemaga mentioned that, but we're going to now get straight into steps to taking to ensuring that you have a great oral hygiene. So, so we want to begin with that, Prince, for Heaven Knows.
So, well, first thing in the morning, eat, then brush. Then, how you do that? So, we are going in. There are two ways in brushing now. So, you're going in circular and you're going up and down. So, when you close, you gum your teeth, and then you kind of go up and down, and kind of, so you can go in between the spaces and remove the debris, and then you go circular in your molars and your premolars, the inside ones and the not so inside ones, and then you come, and then your tongue, you kind of like brush in a rhythm. You brush in a rhythm. You go in, out, and then out, in. Then one important thing that people do is they rinse their mouth after they brush, after they've used the paste. You're just meant to spit out, and that's all. You're not meant to pour water back in and rinse out the paste. You're meant to do it, spit out, and that's...
What the heck?
Yes.
I know, I've heard. But then...
At least for 15 minutes.
Yes.
You especially drink water.
Do you want us to tell you why?
Yes,
okay,
why?
Because I think the why will encourage you, because basically in Nigeria, I don't think you pay for your water that you drink. Like, they don't
tax
like,
us, yeah.
The tap water you drink, I don't think you pay for it like you have like a water board. We don't have that for majority of Nigeria. So now the thing is that in developed countries where they have this kind of services and they pay for water, and it's really important, and then pay for water and stuff, and then government is just on your neck to pay for water. The kind of water they have is fluorinated. There's fluorine, and fluorine is really important to add to your there's a mineral substance in the teeth called hydroxyapatite. Basically, if you add fluorine, it becomes fluorohydroxyapatite. So now, if you add fluorine to the mixture, fluorine prevents tooth decay. It's one of the things it does. It's very marvelous for that. So if you have fluorine in your water, it strengthens the teeth, and you have an advantage. But then in Nigeria, where we don't have that, the source of fluorine for you, basically your toothpaste. So you really need a fluorinated, a fluoride toothpaste, that kind of thing. So, and for the fluorine to settle into your teeth, for the time, I think it's at least 15 minutes. It needs to be there for at least 15 minutes. So there's really no need for you to spit out. Sorry, you spit out. So there's no need for you to rinse that fluorine out again beforehand. So unless maybe you want to rinse after 15 minutes, or you don't want to rinse out at all, that is also fine. Yeah. So, but then the problem this thing has is that it affects the palatability, basically the taste of food you will eat after.
Absolutely, that's
the thing.
But then with time it goes.
Yeah. But with time it does go away. Like when you don't use a very, very funny tasting toothpaste or something. So it will go away. And then for those that want to lose weight, you don't want to eat too much. So if you want to lose weight, particularly, it will be good for you to try this method out, because it will affect the taste, and you will not eat too much. But then for those that don't want to lose weight, you just try to adjust
and be patient,
so that your teeth can be stronger, because the fluorine there will help to prevent tooth decay, basically. And then other minerals too might also be in the toothpaste that will help to strengthen the teeth further, like calcium and other things. So basically, it's a good practice to let it settle. Don't just rinse it out
before you rinse.
Yes, definitely.
But there are people who don't use toothbrush or even paste. They use chewy stick. Yes, there are people like that. They wake up in the morning and they chew the stick and even use it with their teeth and all. What's that?
Well, the disadvantage that has is that the advantage and the disadvantages of that, but the fluorine isn't in that chewing stick. So since chewing stick is from wood, it's you notice that they have should I say they have whiter teeth because it's harder on the enamel, and then you're kind of like scraping.
And that's what they boast with. That my
that's
teeth
what
is even whiter
than yours. So and that's why people that use harder toothbrush, not the softer one. So that's why it kind of affects the different whitelings of the different people. But eventually, I don't think that we should completely throw away that. I know people that wake up in the morning, chew chewing stick. After that, they brush.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they continue with that. But it's something we can incorporate. But we really need that paste for the fluorine as it's there, especially as our water is not fluorinated.
There's this conversation around fluoride being dangerous for the teeth. Now you're saying it's good for the teeth.
It is not dangerous for the teeth. It is, well, too much of everything is bad basically, but it's not dangerous for teeth. Like as at least in the quality, in the quantities we have it in toothpaste, it's not dangerous for the teeth. The problem with fluoride as being used like this is because majorly if the person does swallow toothpaste, because if you use a lot of toothpaste, you are more at risk of swallowing, especially for children.
Yeah.
So we tend to use smaller toothpaste for children. So if you swallow or you take too much of it, or even if it's in water, if it's too much of it in the water, it causes a disease called, or a condition called fluorosis, where there's like too much fluorine in the body. It's not really good for like the bones, nerves, and other things. So it's not a really good thing. But then, in controlled quantity, you brush it twice a day, used in your toothpaste and stuff every day. There is really no health risk associated with it like much.
All right. Before we get into other methods for oral hygiene, is there a case where someone may be asked not to brush? I mean, is there a possibility where someone will be asked not to brush their teeth
Forever.
No, not maybe for a
period,
period
for
of
a time
time.
period.
Yes.
Well, I don't think so.
Well, I am aware that they might tell the person to be careful, like when brushing their teeth. Maybe the person has maybe kind of periodontitis. Maybe the teeth are very loose in the gums. You don't want the person to apply too much for maybe just be gentle.
Or use a
maybe
softer toothbrush.
or maybe stuff and stuff like that.
So when
Even-
people have braces on,
they still brush their teeth. There are ways. You just have to be more careful and stuff. So even with what you eat at the time, you just have to be more careful. Some of them have to like blend food or something. Yeah, it's a process. You want good results. So whatever they tell you to do, you just have to do it so you don't have complications. So you just have to be careful. Even with the brushing, you just have to be careful. Just do around. Just be careful. That's just it.
Those who have scurvy or those
Things like that.
so you don't really need to brush
Apply
so
too
hard.
much pressure. Even as a person, normally you don't have to use that one they call smoker's toothbrush. That's it's really hard to complete like concussion. And then even that one they do for children, put your head in the middle of the ties. And I remember they did that to me. I was not saying I remember it was my uncle. I did not tell my uncle I will not brush. I never said that. But then for some reason, just thought it would be a good idea to put my head in the middle of his thighs and just tossing with him. Well, it's part of growing up.
so the best toothbrush to use is the soft ones.
Yeah, I think medium hardness is fine,
Okay.
but soft is also good.
Okay.
Soft is also good. But then,
It shouldn't be a hassle.
yeah, it shouldn't be too late. It shouldn't be. It's not fight.
No, I think for some people they have like their tongues really coated white and all. So it's for them. If I don't take off all the coatness, I mean the white coatness, it doesn't feel like my mouth is clean.
Okay.
So they opt for harder toothbrush.
Well, for that specific thing you just mentioned, it depends on what is making the tongue to be coated.
Okay.
Maybe if it is a thrush condition, if it's an oral thrush, there's something called oral thrush. Maybe it's like candidiasis. They're having a problem where maybe they may be immunocompromised. Maybe their immunity is not too strong, or for some reason their hygiene is subpar, so they've let candida to overgrow in the mouth.
Okay.
So if that happens, they will have thrush. So they might want to see a doctor and treat themselves or take some drugs for that. So it's not really a function of scraping
and
your
then
tongue.
they'll notice that they are scraping, but it's not going off. So
And you
it's
might
still
even
right there.
bleed.
And
So-
then you eventually bleed off.
Yeah.
So it's not if such kind of things happen to a person and it's abnormal, you just have to see a doctor. Basically, you are supposed to see a dentist twice a year. So if you see a dentist twice a year, if there's anything like that, the dentist will help you figure it out. You will not be saying, "Oh, let me get hard to toothbrush," because it's comparable to using iron sponge for back of pot for your skin. Because you want to clean your skin, so you're not expected to go and take something so corrosive and abrasive on your skin. So the same thing for your teeth too. So you don't go and shave off your gums or anything.
There are like tongue cleaners now. So the softer ones are more advised now, because you use a soft one on your teeth, then use tongue cleaner, clean your tongue. So exactly. So you don't really need that hard one, that smokers want to do everything at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how often should you change your tooth brush?
Every 3 months at least.
Well, yeah.
It could also be every month. It depends on the person, but then every 3 months is fine. But then every month is also good, or every 2 months is also good. So
All right. So let's get into other oral hygiene care. You just mentioned brushing, and you've done some form of analysis on it. What are other forms?
There is flossing.
Okay.
Flossing is not so common here, but we could. There's this string-like something that could go in between the tooth, and then kind of like removes the debris. So in a scenario where you go to a restaurant, you eat, and then there's still debris of meat or food in between, and you're not close to your toothbrush or something, your floss should always be with you.
Okay.
So you kind of like cut some, floss it out, and your mouth feels okay, feels good to do.
What if you have so much spaces? Some people have this very spaced dentition that they hardly feel like anything is stuck or there's debris in it. Do you still need to floss?
Too much space or less space?
Like
if there's too much
the
space, if there's gaps in between, you feel more need to floss.
Really?
Because there'll be more debris in it. But then there are some that teeth more, the gaps are less.
Yes.
So there's a less reason for
debris to settle
into that. So
is that it? Because I know that my teeth is really spaced, and I don't experience. You know how a lot of people, when they are done eating, you have them start cooking, and I rarely do that. The moment I take water, it's like I can really feel anything in it.
So it means it's like this, right? It's when you're talking about the spaces in between, is that there are penetrative spaces in between.
Yeah.
But then if it's closed and your dentition is kind of quite complete, so to speak, so there's less reason for meat or debris to go into that.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's open the phone lines, all right, while we continue another path of oral care. We've been talking oral care and hygiene with Principal Heavendos and Ogene Maga. You can ask any question. I mean, if you have been thinking of how to optimally care for your oral health, right? So we want to know, you want to know if there's something extra you can do, or there's a question, especially a myth, right? You want to debunk a myth, right? So it's important that you can call into the show, ask a question, or even send a text message. 0817 000951, 0817 000951, 0810 9510951 for calls. For text or WhatsApp messages, 0701 9339962. Good evening. Your name and location.
Yeah, okay. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, my name is Hugo.
Thank you, Hugo, for calling.
Yes, good evening to our resource person there. Yes, my question is on the use of what they call, or what we buy from supermarket called mouthwash. How good are such fluids, liquid, we use in washing mouth? Maybe after using a toothpaste, then we later use it to clean the mouth as well, mouthwash. Then the second one is the use of powder, all these granulated powder, so used also in washing mouth. Are they healthy? The use of mouthwash and powder as well. Are they healthy?
All right, we'll go. Your response to that, right? I think that question crossed my mind. I mean, the one of the mouthwash, because I've heard some people talk about how how good or dangerous is the mouthwash? And then these granulated mouthwash, those powder
ones,
forms, how
those
good
local
is
ones that we have here.
Yes,
of course, definitely. I think I should start from that because there's this belief that those ones handle dental caries better.
Yes.
And that if you're having toothache, just sprinkle the powder into your dental cavity, and then you're good to go. But then how safe is it compared to the the fluorinated toothpaste? It's about that fluorine and the effect that the fluorine does to the teeth when you brush, and then kind of like forms that fluorohydroxy apatite, right?
Okay.
So that's the importance of it. And the mouthwash is not as risky, or it's not risky as people think, right? It's something that helps you. You always have a mouthwash in your bag. It's something you can flow with, rinse, you gargle and you spit. The risk for toxicity comes when you're swallowing it. So you keep on, it's almost like you're gulping the mouthful, but then you take spit out. It's completely fine.
Okay, you want to add to that, Maga?
Well, for mouthwashes, yeah, the things are those. Well, they are really good as a support treatment care, as a support hygienic tool, basically a grooming tool, a mouth cleaning tool, basically together with toothpaste, not to replace them. And they're really good if you use them hand in hand. They're really good because they can also contain fluoride. They can contain this antibiotic that you don't like this, because there are some antibiotics that you are not supposed to take inside, so they can clean properly. This chlorhexidine, so they can also contain that. So it's a good support tool, basically. So they're really good too.
All right. So before we get to do's and don'ts and then certain myth that you want to debunk about oral health, this person says, is it normal for the gums to be black? What is the normal color of the gum?
Depends on your complexion. If you are a very black person, I'm not expecting your gums to look like Mariah Carey's gums. So if you are very black,
So
your
we do
gums
have
will
people
look like
whose
you.
gums are black.
Black.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Black.
Yeah, black.
Hey,
Not like black.
everyone knows. You're black. You're black now.
I don't think
They are black
it's so.
now.
Is it about
Are they
complexion?
It's a black complexion.
Yes,
It's
your
not
gums
black.
are black.
They are
Yeah,
black now.
they are.
Yes, no, it's a function of melanin. So yeah,
I think is the meeting point of the crown and then the cementing. So I think
oh guy, your gums are
The-
black. God, you are black.
All right. Can a person develop fever and severe headache due to swollen gums and growth of new teeth?
Yes, very, very, very possible.
Okay. This person says, good evening. Please, how can someone treat tooth decay?
Well, tooth decay, first of all, you have to see a dentist. You have to see a dentist, first of all. Then the dentist will put you through on what to do. The new methods you're supposed to take, basically, they will want to treat around the symptoms. Maybe if you're having pain, they'll give you painkillers.
Yeah.
Commonly, they give this NSAID drug. There's this one they
ibuprofen.
there's this one they like to give. I'm really forgetting the name of the drug.
It's fine not to mention.
So yeah, so there's this one they like to give. So then, if they treat the pain, they might also want to have some
Before
lifestyle.
someone go and start, but I'm getting them.
They are over the counter
drugs.
medications. And so after treating like the pain and other things I've stated, they might want to also give you lifestyle modification, maybe just so that you can maybe brush more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you might also want to change your toothpaste to a more standard one, because there's reason there are different brands and some are more expensive than others, like Sensodyne.
Oh, you just mentioned the
Hey,
brand.
sorry.
That's okay.
I don't go do art, but so basically, some of them are really.
Yeah. He's not saying you should buy that one. He's just saying that there are.
So commonly, so that's just one of the ones.
All right.
Just add to that, right? And a lot of people think that tooth decay is just to fight the pain and then fight or remove the tooth, right? But then the bacteria that some of them it has engrossed so much, it's going towards your jawbone, the tooth socket, so to speak. So if you are just treating the symptoms and you want to go live with it, or you go to a local someone to extract the tooth, it's not a complete something. So you have to completely go through the process
All right. Happy New Month, Queen Chima. Thank you. Happy New Month. I want to ask, does it matter how long you brush your mouth? Because when you see some people brush it, it's like they're in a war zone. Second, is there anything wrong with brushing your mouth with salt? And I think this is a good question. Third, what do you think about herbal powdered toothpaste? We already talked about the herbal powdered toothpaste, but maybe you want to reiterate. But the first question is, when you see some people brushing, it's like war. And is there anything wrong with brushing your mouth with salt?
Brushing your mouth with salt does not have enough antimicrobial help. It does not. Even though, if you do get the abrasive parts, maybe you've not dissolved it yet, it might just help to clean, basically. And then salt normally can help. It can help solubility, maybe make something soluble and then throw them out. It will clean to an extent, but then especially when Sakpa pneumonia has really hit, and then you have to really guide.
Okay.
Maybe you are at some very, very serious level of guiding. But then it's not really advisable. It's not advisable because there are no antimicrobial benefits to that.
Okay.
And then it's not a good substitute to toothpaste. Like it just does not compare.
Plan for your toothpaste.
These are like complements. They should be
Does
used
not.
as they should be used as complementary.
Even the salt, I don't even think compliments.
Because it helps with the biofilm, right? Dissolving that biofilm.
Yes, can make it soluble.
really helps for that. But it's not something you want to do every time.
Okay.
Definitely.
So this person says, good evening, presenter. Does charcoal really whiten the teeth?
Charcoal is helpful in cleaning, basically, because it definitely has some salts and minerals in it.
So someone is talking about
that's part of the
activated
reason-
charcoal.
Yeah, that's part of the reason tooth powder is a thing, because like they contain like charcoal, maybe clove, salts and stuff that can help. So tooth powder, tooth powder can be a good substitute for toothpaste, especially for people that don't want to use fluoride, that think fluoride will harm them or something. So tooth powder is actually a good substitute, but then toothpaste still beats everything, but then it's also a good substitute.
Okay.
So charcoal can actually help. Like
So
whitening and all
the
this.
herbal powdered toothpaste, someone can go ahead to use that.
Yes, very people that are, because people are different. Some people really value herbal products and they feel it makes them one-on-one with nature. It might help their mental health. It's just
Yeah.
there are people that don't want to wear shoes, or so they just want to be one with nature. So
Yeah.
if you're that kind of person, herbal, fine.
Okay. Hi, Queen and guests. I have seen someone with white teeth, but it still smells, no matter how many times the person brushes.
Jesus.
What is wrong?
Person should go and say dentist too. Dentists will have very, very good. Good.
I mean, the
good-
teeth is white still. There's all the...
Yeah, there is a part of the tongue. Tongue is really important
Okay.
in terms, and then other parts of the mouth too. So, or if the person has
tonsils,
tonsils,
all those-
like an infection or something around, so I'm also worry.
It's not just the whiteness we're looking at. That one is genetic. Could be genetic, right? But
True.
then-
I
yeah,
mean, there are people whose
Lifestyle.
teeth are white.
Right, yeah.
Or the person could have gone through teeth whitening and the
definitely.
teeth is white.
I like how you pronounce white. White.
Is
Nice.
there a difference between cavity and tooth decay?
Well,
Tooth decay
The questions are today. I
tooth
mean,
decay is the process, right?
Okay.
The cavity now is that space that has formed in the tooth.
basically the whole
The whole.
impression.
yeah.
So tooth decay is the process of the fact that your enamel is eroding,
Okay.
and as it is eroding, it's a cavity that is forming.
Yeah.
So one is a process, one is what the end product of the process.
Yeah, I mean, these questions are interesting. Keep the questions coming. It's been a number of questions. Let's take this call. Good evening. Your name and location.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Sotoye. I'm calling from Uniport.
All right, Sotoye.
Yes, I want to greet the doctor in the studio and everyone right there for this
Yeah, we greet you too.
enlightenment. But there are some questions I wanted to ask, but let me just narrow it to either two or three. Please, sir. My mouth, I had a broken teeth at the end side of my teeth. But I can't drink, even if the water is not cold or too cold. Yes, I can still drink. It's still gives me that shock. I can't even take anything either cold or not cold. That is one. Number two, each time I sleep in the morning, I produce a lot of saliva. In fact, before morning, I will go to my district and then spit out like 2 or 3 times before daybreak. And then I want to know what kind of paste can one use that can help one do some little healing and some work, please.
All right. Is that all the question?
Yes, for now.
All right. Thank you. Just stay on the line. Stay on the show, rather. All right. That question about
the teeth sensitivity.
Yeah.
So basically, if you have a broken tooth, because teeth are very well supplied with blood vessels and nerves, either it be the mandibular nerve or the maxillary nerve. So basically, teeth are really sensitive, very sensitive. If you even touch your teeth, you can feel the sensation. Even if they look like they are not flesh, they are very, very, very well supplied with nerves. So if there's any chafing, any scrape, any break or at all that exposes the nerve, it's a very, I don't know, they fire so much. Like the whole thing is intense. That's why toothaches are really intense, especially when you might even feel the pulsation of the arteries, like as you are feeling you might feel a throbbing, something like that. So yeah, it's a very well innovated thing. So because he has chipped a part of his teeth away, he has broken some parts. So that is very, very expected, especially when you drink liquids or anything touches there, just fires immediately. So that is just
what can he do?
He
should visit the dentist.
He should see a dentist immediately. Yeah.
Because you're already asking for solutions. I mean, and so we don't do diagnosis on the show. Just open your eyes to the dangers of certain things that you do or why you should see a doctor, right? So it's important to see a dentist, and then the dentist will know exactly what will be done for you. There's a question here. Good evening. Can mouth sores be transmitted?
Yes, depends on the type of mouth sore. If it is herpes, herpes simplex 1, because that's what infects the mouth, around the mouth, maybe even the angle of the lips or even inside the mouth. If it's that, it can be transmitted through kissing.
Okay. So you should be careful how you kiss.
Yes, be very careful. Open your eyes.
And who you kiss.
Well. But it's not a life-threatening thing if it is herpes, so it's not really a life-threatening thing. But then you should be careful who you kiss, because you don't want to have what you did not have.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely.
So while we're going through this, Prince of Heaven knows, one question that came to mind is: are there certain foods you should avoid? I mean, dangerous for your teeth or your mouth? I mean, your whole oral hygiene.
Extra hot food. Right.
Oh,
but
people
temperature.
I mean, your mouth is thermocool, right?
So,
when you put the food, it's like
there's some foods that if they're not hot, it's not entering.
Yeah.
You have to warm them. You have to put it in that degree.
Yeah.
But then you'd burn your gums.
Okay.
That's one of the cause of those sores.
I mean, have you burnt your tongue before? It's really uncomfortable, right?
So you could avoid extra hot, but then if you're talking about drinks, cold drinks, especially if you have some sensitive teeth, and then you are not using those special toothpaste for sensitive teeth, of course you should avoid cold, extra hot, and then sugar, right?
Okay.
So the thing is the fact that you have hyperglycemia. So you kind of like, it is the sugar. Well, before the sugar goes to the blood, first of all, to cause the hyperglycemia, the sugar that is around that forms part of the biofilm. So the fact that there is sugar coating the teeth, it enables the microorganisms, to break, to produce the acid that will break down the enamel and create the cavities. So sugary foods, simple sugars, drinks, soda, so they are one of the things we could avoid.
Are there other don't? So okay, we've talked about a number of do's. I mean, are there other don'ts that's dangerous for the teeth?
Not particularly dangerous. I want to mention. It's not particularly dangerous, but then just as a friendly advice, don't eat raw onions and go outside. Like basically, brush your teeth after you eat some. In fact, if you want to eat your raw onions, I don't even know how you're supposed to do that, but onions can predispose you to having a very funny
smell.
that onion bread.
Garlic.
You get and things like that. Well,
But
they-
how
they are
important?
really
Because a
good
lot of
for the
people
body.
eat garlic. Right?
But yeah.
I eat it too.
They're really good for the body, but then if you want to do that, you just have to be aware that you might have garlic bread or onion bread.
Or do it before you sleep or something.
Yeah. Even the garlic, even
As
when
you're
you
buying
eat
it, I
it,
want to buy Tic Tac together with it so that you can just make sure that you don't.
even the garlic after taking it at night, because that's when I take garlic sometimes. In the morning, it's still.
Still
The stench
garlic
is still.
is really,
Yeah. Okay. So, are there certain myths that you probably want to debunk about oral health before we wrap up the show?
For healthy teeth, I think one of the things we should stop doing is to open those bottled minerals with our teeth.
Oh. Well, people who do that, right?
It's something that could, lead to what that man had, where a part of it will just chop off.
Chops off.
And then you don't have exposure of your pulp, and then you're just so sensitive.
These days we have these drinks in plastics, so you don't. We just that some people feel the one
And
in
then
the bottle
beer
is.
is more bottle.
Bottle
And it's
beer.
not that I see those kind of people having that sensitivity.
And it's really ungentlemanly, unladylike to use your teeth to,
Perhaps unladylike, but I don't think ungentlemanly
Really?
show strength. But then it's a negative show of strength.
Yeah.
So,
All right. I don't know. Maybe we could just take one more call and wrap up oral health and hygiene. This person says, "Good evening. Can complex sugars cause cavities or tooth decay?" I think you said something like, but we want to reiterate.
I said simple sugars, right?
Okay.
And then complex sugars are more. We tend to go towards complex sugars. Even people that have diabetes or something, so you tend to prevent taking simple sugars. More complex sugars are safer.
Yeah.
Because the digestion in the mouth, how many minutes? 15, 20 minutes. So the simple sugars are not really being produced so much. From complex to simple in the mouth is not so much. So you're less prone to having those microorganisms come and digest the complex sugars to simple, then go to acid. It's safer. Safer, yeah.
So, some people feel that after some time, I could be working and I've not talked to anyone for a very long time, and I think, I just put sweets in my mouth or chewy gum. I know how good is, the sweets, the chocolates, the chewy gum, how good or dangerous is it for the teeth or the mouth?
Well, if we're talking menthol, and then we're talking sweets that have the simple sugars, right? Yeah. So the more advisable ones are the way you take those that have the menthol. So it's those ones they are created in a mouth friendly way. Okay. So you have less simple sugars. But if you're licking sweets, you're going towards the simple sugars we're talking about, and then you still close your mouth for a long period of time. The microorganisms are there, though they're not as active as they were at night, but they are still there.
Yeah.
And they're still causing it. So if there are mouth sprays you could use. Those mouth sprays are like toothpaste, or they're like mouth washes. So it's more advisable to use those than to use the sweets, especially if you feel after some time
All right, this person says, what causes excess production of saliva, especially at night? There's some times before coming on the mic, there was this particular day I was exhausted and I took a particular drink and I came on the mic and I was swallowing saliva, open saliva, and it was almost difficult to read the news without taking pauses. So I don't know, does it have anything to do with the kind of food the person ate had before bed?
It depends. It depends, because if you are nauseated, if you want to vomit, it depends. So there are many causes of hypersalivation, salivary basically. It might be infective, it might be infectious. Maybe there's tonsillitis or other things around the mouth, or maybe the kind of food you eat, if it is irritating, maybe down there, maybe down to your intestines, and maybe it's prompting you to want to vomit. You might start having salivations so that it will protect your mouth, because when you are vomiting outside, it's like acidic from the stomach. So if you are vomiting, there might be kind of protective formation of saliva so that it can help you to protect your teeth from that burning of the acid. So, so that might help. So maybe the kind of food you eat, maybe it's not good for you, or maybe it's causing you to want to throw up, maybe it's irritating you down there, or maybe you have infections around, or maybe the kind of drugs you took. Maybe there are some drugs that can cause hypersalivation, some drugs maybe for seizure medications and other things. So there are there are several, like several causes. So.
All right. I mean, it's been an enlightening conversation and quite participatory too. I like that we got the number of messages that we got. Thank you so much for the messages and the calls on the show. Oral health and hygiene. Thank you so much, Prince, for having those for coming. Thank you, Organ and Mega, for coming too.
Thank you.
And enlightening us about oral health and hygiene. So keep a date with us next week. Doctor in the House. Another interesting conversation. I mean, health conversation. You don't want to miss it. Your health is important. As they always say, health is wealth. So you don't want to miss conversations like this. I'm Queen Chima. Up next is Cruise Control, and we have something spicy and nice to talk about. Just stay with us.
Think about the generations and to say we want to make it a better place for our children.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Juicy boy from South Band is plenty. I get one with the shammy on the daily. Anytime she come around, she come body. She know the letter, not that and they come there. I know they complain. Sweet when she give me on a steady. Shorty my type, and she knows that. When she money sweet a cappella. I don't know, no, my eyes dirty. Come make me day my baby. Come give me body, make her call me. Come be my remedy, my baby. I don't know, no, my eyes dirty, oh. Come make we day, my baby, oh. Come give me body, oh. Make her call me, oh. Come be my remedy, my baby.
Fine boy like me, hot girl like you. Put us in a room and we lose composure. Standard as me, now I really like you. So baby, don't be shy, you gonna need to come closer. Thick body girl, backside's a tanker. Of course I like meat, you cannot decanda. Say she likes smoke and she wants some ganja. But me, I don't smoke, give me coke and Fanta. Great minds think alike, so let's 69. That's putting heads together, my car seats recline. Waiting for the green light, just give me sign. I'm just thinking out loud, now what's on your mind?
I don't know, no, my eyes dirty. Come make me day, my baby. Come give me body, make her call me. Come be my remedy, my baby. I don't know, no, my eyes dirty, oh. Come make me day, my baby, oh. Come give me body, oh. Make her call me, oh. Come be my remedy, my baby, oh. Be my remedy, my baby.
Plenty shy, I done day on a Friday, cause I'm on the done day. It's a done deal, they don't pay. They can't take, we have baby 10 days. So me sing say, every day is a new level, next level. That's what we the same level. We be burning, we be spending, we be balling. All your ways, I run kilometer. Now you go be my fine shima. You got the body and I got the back. I did for Canada, they blow Canada. I really wanna feel some things. I wanna hold some things. Cause as I did like this, my body do on things like this. Now you need my mind, oh. Give me your tools, make I utilize, oh. Go on your knees, handle on my mic, oh. Shift up your pants, make I gonna slide, oh. For your waist, I run kilometer. Now you go be my fine shima. You got the body and I got the back. I did for Canada, they blow Canada.
All right, thank you so much for joining us on Cruise Control on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. I just realized that I didn't do so well in mathematics in school because we've been doing some calculations here, and I'm wondering, what was my mathematics like? Oh, Queen,
What was your score then?
I don't want to tell you guys. Don't worry. Well, thank you so much for joining us again on Cruise Control. I am Queen Chima, and then as not so usual, we have interesting and beautiful ladies in the studio. We're going to be talking about something nice. It's a new month, so happy new month, girls. I don't know guy here, so I think it's a girl hangout. I'm just a
Maybe
girl.
Prince will come later. He always comes later.
If he does today, really. Happy new month, Zalem. I think I should start with Zalem. It's been a while. How are you doing?
I'm happy to be here.
Okay, good to have you.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm happy to be here. I've missed the show. I've missed you. I've missed your voice.
Okay.
I've missed your voice. I've missed Rona. I've missed
No, please don't do that. Don't call me.
I thought you would never mention. I was already getting jealous. No, I really actually missed the show. I'm happy to be here.
It's good to have you back.
Thank
It's
you.
been a busy period for you. Your
Very
exams
busy,
and all, but I mean it's for good. So
Yes.
even if we miss you, we're happy that you had to write your exams.
Yes.
We shouldn't stop you from doing
Very
that.
important.
How was it?
It was okay. It was tough, but yeah, it was still beautiful.
I like that you said it was tough.
It was tough.
You know that when you come out from an exam hall, I'm like, it was. There are people who are always happy when they come out from exam hall, and then at the end of, I think
the
this,
results.
when you see, why are you always happy? Why can't you just be sincere to yourself that I did not write well? It was tough, right? Well, it's fine. I mean, it's the confidence. How are you doing, Delight? Delight, why is Delight's face like this now? What's going on? Okay, I understand. How are you doing?
Fine.
Are you sure you're fine? Are you sure?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just tired.
Tired, and you had to come. Thank you so much for coming. How's your day been?
Very fine.
All right, Tammy, how are you doing?
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, Tammy. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
How was your day?
It was good. I went to church and it was very nice.
Okay.
Danced today in church.
First Sunday,
you know, with
first
the vibes, the outfits, it was giving.
I like. You know, sometimes I want to try to feel Gen Z, but it just doesn't work, right? It just doesn't work, but it's fine. Thank you for coming. Miracle, how are you doing?
I'm good. Hello, Queen.
Hi.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm fine. Today I'm not stressed.
Yeah,
I'm fine.
It's good to know that. Ronald,
Well,
babe.
my God, I'm good. I'm fine. Just here.
I feel like
pushing life as it should be.
So back to mathematics, right? I wasn't going to skip that, right? Let me just be a sincere person today. I'm almost always sincere, but I just don't talk about my life on the radio a lot of times because we tell stories. But back to mathematics, we were calculating, and I was almost confused. Like first half, first quarter, this. I said, okay, I think I really need to think. Do we have mathematics geniuses here? Like who was? Okay, Miracle was. Miracle. She pointed at you that.
No, I don't know what Delight's talking about.
What?
That was then. I did it because I needed to pass my exams.
You did what? What did you do? I don't understand.
Did mathematics?
Yes, I did it because I needed to pass.
So after passing, what
After
happens?
I left it because I don't have any business with it.
I think Zalem is.
Just don't put me. I have kind of, but let's not do this.
So you still do
X, Y, when X factorization thing. Actually,
really?
I do these things, but please let's not do this on the radio.
Because Zalem is the economist.
Yeah,
economist, right? I think there are a lot of calculations.
An accountant also.
Accountants going on right there. So do you like mathematics?
I actually do. I love calculation.
You see, I was right.
And then you use it every day. Every
life.
day. I don't have a choice. That's my lifestyle. Literally, okay.
So I'm going to tell you guys a story. I don't know if it's funny. In I think it was my junior secondary school, they gave our teacher gave us this division or something to do mathematics, and somehow I know I did well. It was 20 questions.
And I did over 15 of them, and then submitted. And he said he wasn't sure that I did it. That I had to resit. And you know the crazy thing? I sat for that again, and I failed a number of them. So that's how bad I was. So it's the fact that so I'm not correct. So I did not cheat. No, I didn't cheat. So, but I don't know. Maybe the fear, all right, because I don't even know what happened. Why? It's a little difficult to explain. And then they now somehow further mathematics came into the picture. I was like, what is it? From mathematics, and you say, let's go further into where? Where are we furthering into? But English, literature, you know, those are beautiful. I mean, beautiful subjects. Mathematics, we just kept finding X, and but then you know, solutions are necessary to be solved. But let's move away from that. It's been 5 months, and then now this is the 6th month. We're in the first half, right? That's what we agreed.
Yeah. Just to wear
right? And it's for but this is a young people show, but for anybody, I mean, at the beginning of the year, there's usually that energy, that burst of energy. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do this other one. I have this plan set out, or I'm going to read 100 books in 10 days, right? That's all unrealistic. But then I'm going to do this other thing and all. But by the time we're saying Happy New Month in June, did any of you feel some sort of way like, oh, are we in June already? What have I? Did you hear my what have I? What have I done? I mean, it's June. Did anyone feel that way?
I don't want to think about it.
Really?
Honestly, I didn't
Well,
even think about it.
I deliberately don't want to think about what have I achieved in this first half of the year. But I think that I've made a little progress.
Yeah.
I know it because I see it.
Yeah.
But I deliberately don't put the comparisons and say, because I stopped doing this New Year resolution thing a long time ago. When I was still a teenager, I say 2023. Okay. In 2018, I will do this and I will write it down and paste it on the wall. By December, I did not look at that thing again. I didn't check that book. So I stopped doing that thing. I just know in my mind that, okay, this year I want to do this, I want to do that. I don't have to necessarily do that resolution thing. So I think I made a little progress. Not as much as I want, but I mean, this is just the first half of the year. We still have another half coming. So I'm staying positive.
Okay. So Zalem, how did you feel? I mean, coming into June.
Okay, this year I did not really have so much plans because I tried to be very realistic. I knew how busy the year was going to be because of the professional studies I was going for. So I just made my plans very slim and realistic. So based on what I have, I think I've made really good progress and I'm happy for the next half because it's about to get better.
Okay, sweet. All right, how are you, Tammy?
Fine. And for June, I was actually surprised that we're already in June. I was like, when did I close my eye? We're saying
Happy New Year!
Yeah. And suddenly now
This
we're
is
in
my
June.
year!
Well, for me, I'll say it's 50-50 because there are some plans I started with in the new year that okay with this, but then some situations has made such plans not very visible.
Yeah.
But on the second part, at least I've been able to start something. I feel like I'm not progressing, but then there's progress. But then I really just have this feeling that I'm not doing enough. In fact, I'm not even doing anything. I was even telling my brother yesterday that I feel like I'm never using my life to do anything.
Wow.
But then, whenever I just look back and look at my work, my activities, the lessons I've learned, the new things I've achieved in a very little way, because like we said, small wins, a win is still a win. So
yeah.
I just look forward to a positive month.
Miracle.
I don't really think about these things, but I was shocked. I didn't even know today was 1st June until I got to church and after Pastor said, don't you anybody say Happy New Month? Wow, we're in June already. So this whole New Year resolutions, I don't really pay attention, but I set goals. And the goals I set at the beginning of the year, my friend came to see me today and she was going through it on the board. And she said, now wow, now they do all these things. how many of these things are you following up with? And I said, quite a number. And I can see that there's progress actually. Most of the goals there, I'm working towards them. Most of them, I've already gone past them. So it's the goals that keep me going. And I use the goals to actually know how far I've come and how well I'm doing. So
Okay. How far and how well?
Yeah.
All right, Delight.
Okay, 2025 has been a great year for me. So I was talking to my mentor today, one of my mentors, and he was like, do you know that some of the things you told me you're going to do by June, you've done them already? And I was shocked.
Yeah.
I had to go back to the things I wrote down, and I think that some of the things, especially business-wise, I've done a whole lot
Yeah.
of things. So I think to me, this year has just been amazing.
Wow.
It's been amazing. And this month will be better.
So why we're having this conversation is, as much as some people don't want to be calculative of time, because they think it puts some sort of pressure on them, but time is of the essence and is important to whatever you're doing. So you want to look at what you've done so far, probably re-strategize, go back to your drawing board and say, what do I need to do better? How do I get this sorted? There's something I was supposed to do, and I procrastinated, and I could not access it. And I don't know. Just I need to give myself some time to access it, and I'm hoping and praying that I'll be able to. Because so you cannot imagine the hurt I am feeling, knowing that yes, I have had a busy year, but maybe I could have still found time to do this. Now I can access it. So that's why time is important. So I want to know how you've been able to put these things together. Maybe we should start with you, Delight, right? How you've been able to, because you didn't even realize that number of things that you said you were going to do, that you've done them. Do you think you put in extra work into some of the things that you've been doing, or did it just happen? I mean, did it just happen?
No, I did put in extra work than I did last year.
Okay.
A lot of persons I met consciously, a lot of seminars I had to go, a lot of people things I had to do, my goals, I had to look at my book every week.
Okay.
And what I did this year that I think I've never done before is I wrote the goals down, and I did short-term goals, like how to achieve them weekly basis, because a lot of times we write a lot of things, and when we go back to look at them, it's too much for us to handle. That's what I've been doing. But this year I had to I wrote them down in smaller pieces. So when I go back, I look at what I've achieved, what I've done, what I've not done, and go back and to them. So I think that's what I just did this year that made it easier and better.
Because if you did that, you can follow through with it, and the very hefty things that you want to put on. I'm going to buy a car when you don't even have up to $1 million. Or maybe 500,000 saved, or I'm going to do this and that. So when you say, "Oh, I'm going to," some goals can be long term, some short term, and then you go through it. But do you feel some sort of pressure? Does anyone feel some sort of pressure
about the?
Yeah, I mean, yes, about everything.
I do.
There's always
I think we all do. There's that subtle reminder in your mind that this year is going. Just be encouraging yourself that you're doing well, but you know that there's a level that you want to be at that you're not yet at. We need to. I know that. Okay, I've been making these little progresses, but I feel like as at the 6th month of the year, I should have gotten this already. There's some plans that I have made that. As of January, I calculated in my head that okay, in 2 months' time, I should have gotten this. When I planned this, but in 3 months, it should have happened. And then it just keeps dragging. It has dragged into the 6th month already, and I'm like, would this thing enter December? And I started thinking, what should I do? Am I not doing enough? Should I put more effort? Should I just allow time to pass? And that pressure is always there. Or I won't allow it to overwhelm me because I might just lose myself in that process.
And some things are literally out of our control at the end of the day. So they tend to affect the planning. Like, for example, when this year I finished my NYC this year and I was trying to get a job, which was one of the plans I had, because I was about to take like a very big financial decision. I wanted to like control my finance, buy some assets, shares in some companies and all that. But the delay in the job search ruined the plan for a long time. It was just this month that I knew that okay, I've successfully got a job, and I was able to like
congratulations,
thank you. And I was able to like okay, go ahead with the plans I had. So that's like. That was out of my control. I did everything I could. I was writing
cover letters. Did you panic when it wasn't coming?
Yes, I did. I'm like, God, by now I thought I would have bought shares in this
yeah.
bank. I would have done this by now. Even though it was very little, but like I had small plans and everything. So yes, I did panic. When I saw some people getting injured, I'm like, God, hello, I'm here. Yeah, but I don't lie. I'm happy that mine is here already, and I've started making the progress already.
Wow, amazing. So sometimes you could even set these plans and a lot of things will make them not happen.
Yeah.
So you just want to relax at that moment, or what's the level of relaxation and what do you tell yourself?
I don't relax. I don't think I relax about it, but sometimes I feel like, okay, maybe I should do more to get to that point. And other times, I feel like, why I'm doing so much. And sometimes I'm like, people don't even do this much to get this thing. So when I start feeling this is coming so hard, though, I just pause and just, I'm like, I'm not going to die, please. Not there. Man proposes, God proposes. And then nothing comes to my head. I'm like, okay. Even the most prepared people still have these health issues. So please give yourself a break. Just chill. It will work out.
Okay, so you know, sometimes when you say give yourself a break and just chill, some people think you're being too relaxed. I mean, so there's the push that they want you to give to life every day, like wake up and
frustrated. Well, you don't wake up every day with energy now. There are days you wake up, you are low on energy. Will you now say, I must be I cannot give up.
I mean, right?
You get exhausted. There are days where you just let it. It's not like you are giving up. But
it's not like you're giving up. You're relaxed. You want to take a break.
You actually need to
breathe.
If you're going to like take better decisions, probably something is not working, and it's not like it's not supposed to work. Probably you're doing it the wrong way. Sometimes a good sleep will help you figure it out. When you sleep and wake up and think about it.
Do you think young people feel more pressure these days? Yes. I mean,
than the older
to achieve.
You know that the video that to amount to something, in this generation, to amount to something. If you don't want to amount to anything, you're very lucky. You don't wake up and just live your life. But the moment you decide in your heart that I must be something, honestly, that moment you make that resolve in your heart, you see life coming at you. I want to be something. Okay, now. I don't know. Let's be back.
It's like you're not seeing me before I took this decision.
I just say I want something. Everything is just one thing or the other. Today is this one. Tomorrow, what's going on?
So we're going to know how we track success, right? Okay. Track your progress, not success. I want us to talk about that because a lot of times we don't look at progress. We're looking at
the future.
True. Victoria, how are you doing?
Very great. Good evening.
Good
evening, Miss Queen.
Good evening.
Thank you so much for having
It's been a long day for you, right?
A very long day, although it was a very amazing one. I enjoyed it.
So how's the past 5 months been for you? I mean, 1st of June, when you realized that, June already. Did you have that June already feeling like, oh my God, are we here?
Yes, so I did because we just crossed over to New Year and we're already here in June.
I think you're already 2026.
So yeah, that feeling of just now, so fast. Yeah, actually feel that.
What has it been for you? I mean, the past 5 months.
The past 5 months has been amazing. You know, I've been pushing. I set a lot of goals like from January. Okay, but throughout these 5 months, I've come to learn a lot, realized that you don't have to like be chasing so much. You can actually pick a thing and focus on it. You know, that laser focus, achieve that and move on to the next thing. So that's one of the major things that I've learned throughout these past 5 months.
Oh, okay. So let's talk progress as against destination. As much as it sounds easy, it's difficult. I mean,
it is.
You're always looking at, when is this happening? I want to see the big thing, the real deal. That's what we call the real deal. And so we don't keep track of, what we're doing on a daily basis or anything. So how do you get to frame your mind to be I mean, I'm making progress. One step at a time. Even if it's 10 steps at a time. I mean, whatever pace you're working with. Miracle.
Okay, so like you said, it's not easy. Most times, to be very, very sincere, I don't look at my vision board because I feel like my heart will jump out. I honestly don't. Most times, I'm just too scared to look at my vision board. But then the reason I kept it in a place I can't
So there's a young
see-
person who will listen to you and wondering, what's a vision board?
Oh, okay. So a vision board is, simply put, a board. It doesn't really have to be a board, but I have a board in my room. It doesn't have to be a board. It can be a notepad, anything where you have your visions for your life. You break it down: family life, finance, business, career, anything, and how to achieve those things. Yeah. So most times I don't want to look at my vision board because I'm just so scared. But at the beginning of the year, when I made that vision board for the year, I had to take a picture of it because I know that if I leave that board there are days I will not want to look at it, and it happens. So I took a picture of it and I made it my lock screen saver.
Okay.
So that whenever I turn on the backlight, that's the first thing I'm seeing. It reminds me all the time that there's something you have to do. And I had to zoom in so that I'll be able to see it in my phone. Okay, so what's the plan for this and this? How far have you gone? Most of the plans, they are long term.
Okay.
And it seems like, as at today, it seemed as though, how do we get to this point for the long term? How do we get here? It seemed impossible by the time I checked it today, but no pressure, just keep going. I'm making progress, that's all that matters. So that's it.
Is that how it works for you? I mean,
For me, it's different. I do the same thing she does, write it down and everything. But I think I track my progress based on, I break it down weekly, monthly, and all this thing. And that's what I used to track my progress. Like I said, this year I don't have so much plans. I didn't do a lot. I just focused on my professional course and one or two other things that I know, okay, I can actually track the progress well. And I think gifting myself is what helps me track my progress. Taking a break when I've achieved something reasonable, it helps me know that, okay, you're doing well. If you can gift yourself this, you're doing well. Like this June, I said that by the time I finish this month and I successfully do the things I want to do, I'm going to get like a customized jewelry for myself. So I do these things regularly and it helps me actually see that, okay, I did this well and all that.
Okay, how about you, Tammy? Right. I mean, how do you track your progress?
Well, for me, I would say first, like writing it down. But then I got to realize that most of my plans, my goals are usually long term. And I'm always looking at that end, that peak. When do I actually get there? And I don't even realize sometimes that in the process of trying to get to that peak, I've even achieved some things on my own. I don't even realize that. And I don't even put that into record. Also, that okay, I am looking this far, but I've been able to do 1, 2, 3 to be able to get closer to this 10 that I'm looking at. So I'm just trying to consciously imbibe that trait of putting it down. If I achieve something, maybe in a month or in a month or two, I take a picture or just try to do something that will make me remember it. Maybe do like a Snapchat video of it, and there's that it will give me memories, feedback, or that kind of a thing. So that's what I just do for now, and I want to actually imbibe this trait more often so that it wouldn't look like as if I'm not doing anything with my life. Like I said earlier, because of how I'm always tracking time, like, I'm supposed to have achieved this now, or I'm supposed to have done this now. And then when you look at maybe your colleagues or your friends, people around, you see that maybe they're like times 5. I mean, I'm like, am I just in times 2? What am I a snail? What am I doing like this? God.
Because most times you go online and maybe your line of business, you're seeing a lot of persons younger than you, your age, doing a lot of things. And it can be overwhelming most times. So what I do is I learned from my older sister. I learned how to write even the smallest things because I go back to count my blessings and name them one by one, not to pressure myself because whether we like it or not, last year we are doing better this year than last year. I'm doing better. Business wise, personally, I'm doing better. So I learned how to write down the smallest thing I do in business, in life. I write them down in my book, in my diary. I put them down because most times when I go back there and I see all my long-term goals that I know that is by God I can achieve these ones. But when I see the ones I have achieved that I'm not supposed to, with my power, with my strength, with my finances, I'm not supposed to achieve these things. It gives me courage. It gives me motivation to do more because I know I would get it done. Because whether I like it or not, society is pressuring us, the younger ones, the younger generation, because you see a lot of persons doing what they are doing and they are making waves, they are doing a lot of things. So one thing I'll advise any young person there, write your goals down, break it down, tick the ones you achieve, the little things, count them, because it will help you. It will help you ease the pressure. It will help you look at those things and like, wow, I've done this one. Wow, did this thing by myself. But most times, if you don't write, you tend to forget. And then you start using somebody else's progress to measure your own progress.
Track your own progress. You know, there is an improvement that comes with consistency. But there is the improvement that comes with growth. I mean, you're seeing strategic growth. So sometimes, because we're at it, or I'm still cooking, I'm still hairstyling, I'm still doing voiceovers, and probably the money is still coming, but you're not really growing. So you're just consistent, right? And you think you're growing, right? So how do you intentionally grow? So it means that you have to set, structures.
That is the growth, right? Because like you said, you might actually mistake consistency for growth. So you feel because I show up for this thing every day, I'm doing it every day, that means I'm growing. But you might just be repeating circles and not actually be growing. So it's until you are deliberate about growing on that thing, regardless of how consistent you are. So by being deliberate means you would do things that would ensure your growth. So if you're doing a business, rather than just posting every day, you probably maybe take courses. If it's a business that involves you taking courses, you would intentionally watch videos of people that have gone far or have gotten to where you want to in that part of your business or your career. You would intentionally learn and be teachable. So
as young people, you should seek support.
So, exactly. So you don't think you can achieve everything by yourself on your own. So people have been there and people are still in that process. So be teachable and be willing to learn from these people, ask questions and talk about maybe some of the challenges you face with these people, because when they talk to you, I feel you get one or two wisdom from them, and all of these things just contribute to
And I think another thing is being honest with yourself, because a lot of persons are not honest. They live in self-denial. You keep doing this thing every day and there's no growth. It's just like you have a business, you've been doing it for 5 years, your turnover is the same thing every year. Like you've not passed this level 5 years, but you keep coming every year, showing up, you're putting, that's why they say hard work is not smart work. You keep doing the same thing every day. So I think when you sit down and you're actually honest with yourself, see, I'm not growing. Like, just be honest with, I think that's the first step to actually start thinking about how to grow. You have to actually be honest with yourself. I am not growing in this thing. I need to take the next. I need to move on from this level that I'm in.
So as a young person, like who because we just talked about pressure, right? The fact that it can be pressuring, looking at social media, looking at some people around you. So how do you, equip yourself as a young person, especially if you're starting something? Most of you here are doing stuff for yourself, doing one business or the other, growing on a brand or something. Who are the people that you surround yourself with, or what sort of resources do you surround yourself with to ensuring that you can grow, there's someone you can talk to or something? Victoria?
I think you surround yourself with people that are maybe one step ahead of you. People that are doing amazing, like doing good, big things in that field where you are working on. So I think that is basically it. Just surround yourself with like minds and people that can mentor you. Okay, so I think that is basically what I do personally.
Okay. And another thing I do, I started earlier this year. I started going to business seminars, not just the ones that are free, the ones I pay for. Because when you use your money and pay for something, you value. That's just the thing. Especially when you know you don't have the money too much, and you use the money. So I started going for business seminars that I paid for. I registered for. So I would make sure I go early because I paid for this thing.
Get a good seat.
I got to go sit down for front seat. That kind of thing. So I think most of us business people, especially ones that are growing, we always want free things. There are some things, I know there are times that you need to use the free things too. Please. You get, but there are times to just discipline yourself to pay for a business, because most of when you pay for this business thing, you will see top persons that come there, because they obviously not really come for almost all the free ones. But the ones you pay for, you see people, like-minded people. So I think, and I know you should, it's not every time, but most times just pay for a seminar, go for a business seminar.
So you should leave YouTube as you.
No, yeah, YouTube is our best friend. Our go-to. It's our best friend.
Yeah, so to add to that, Victoria said, she said what was on my mind, like minds. I was going to say, last week there was a conversation at the office, and I said, for this kind of thing to happen, you just have to be in it with someone of your someone like you. Yeah. You just have to be in this kind of thing with a like mind. So Victoria said it, and also once you have like minds around you, please try not to start feeling jealous, because most of those like minds might have achieved more than you. You're around them because of a reason, so that you can learn. So try not to be jealous. They did not build their empire in a day. Yeah. So just try to learn, relax, unlearn, relearn, and let things unfold.
All right. So there's a part I want us to talk about. I mean, it's been you analyzing your 5 months, and I think it's been beautiful. The growth, the challenges are almost always there. Yeah. But what's most important, even for me, listening to all of you, is how am I re-strategizing? Because sometimes you can have like a lot of things that you want to do, as you are probably ambitious, or you just want to get these things done, and you find out at the end of the day you don't have a number of them done. But if you want to concentrate on 2, 3 and all, you see that you're making some sort of progress, or reasonable progress. But let's get to hear from you. How's your 5 months been? It's I wonder who the person is. Okay. It's been 5 months, right? And this is the 6th month, June. Happy new month. But then, how has it been for you? You want to talk about how the past months have been? All right, 0817 0000951, 0810-951-0951. Those are the numbers to call. 0701-933-9962 for text message. The past 5 months, are there things that you think you want to do better? You're saying it, I want to do this better. I did this other one and it just didn't work out perfectly, or it went well, but I think it can be better, and this is what exactly I am going to do. All right, so the numbers are open. 0817 0000951. I think we just had a, what would I call him now? Is this guest of honor? Okay. Brandon, where have you been?
I've been around.
You have to touch the mic. Okay. Where have you been?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I've been around.
You're calling me. I was on a show.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've been missing Cruise Control show. And
no, I don't think so.
I've been missing.
I don't think so.
I've just been from one activity to the other.
Yeah, but you look stressed actually.
Yeah,
doing a lot. Has the five months? The past 5 months? Has it been for you?
Well, it's been great. I've met new people. I think I've been happy the past 5 months.
Your social network.
My social network has been.
It's
improvements,
expanding,
entertainment industry, and things like that.
Okay, so when it was June, when you noticed that today is the first, did you feel?
I woke up and I started seeing Happy New Month in my phone. The Happy New Month is so plenty, and I'm just like, wow, I've been in June already. I was like, it's half of the year, I'm like, I've not really achieved what I plan to achieve.
That part.
But I think I can still do something this month of June.
Absolutely, I think so. All right, so while we're still letting other people calling and talk about everything, all right, there's a part I want us to talk about, and that's relationships. Everybody is quiet. Nobody likes to talk about this, but they like to talk about it somehow. Right on the radio. I don't know. Maybe your mom is listening or your dad, so you don't want them to hear you. But did anyone have a plan for love life this year? I mean,
I did. I did.
Oh, they're talking. Thank God.
I did.
Oh, okay. Oh, I still do. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So,
but
so how's it been? I was going to ask that. You still do. Sounds like okay. You're still in the process.
Yes, I'm still in the process.
Okay, so the first worked out. Right.
Talking stages have not been funny.
Oh my God. Tell me about it.
Talking stages.
I can scream on my lungs, out my lungs right now.
It has not been funny. You're like, what's going on with these inconsistent people?
I think a number of people have more talking stages than the
actual relationship.
Yes.
Just
and it's draining.
I am people. People is me.
So did anybody want to get married this year?
I don't mind.
Maybe Victory.
Well,
okay.
It was a thought earlier this year that I want to get married this year, but this is halfway to the month. I don't think I'll get married in 6 months. Someone I just met in 6 months. I'm too scared to get married to someone I just met in 6 months. But I'm very open to meeting someone that, it blossoms into a real relationship. Because all these talking stages before, I think. But if you are listening, I don't even think they're listening. But if you are listening, please, I'm tired.
So because I know you guys are young, but then I don't think anyone is too young not to get married here, right? Especially because the times are changing, and hey, 24, 25, of course 26 you can get married, and I don't know, there's always the 25 thing. I think 25 has done a lot of things to people. So
I think we said that age for ourselves, because we feel like at 25 you're very much as a lady, then you start calculating, okay, I should give birth, have my children for 30, I finish raising my children. So that's why we put that age thing in our heads. And so when at 25 you don't even have one serious talking stage, you start reevaluate and say, okay, 30 is not so bad, 28 is not bad. It doesn't have to be very much. You start saying, I want to achieve so that I'll enter this thing as a value.
But does anyone feel like, does anyone here, because I think some people are not talking, Delight, Miracle, Tammy and Victoria,
right?
I mean, so you want to make money, right? I mean, you want to make a lot of money. Tammy,
I'm passing
away.
I'm passing away.
Tammy, you want to make a lot of money.
Exactly. I want to make a lot of money. I want to be financially independent, please. Like my brothers always say that. Please, it's already time. Leave my father's house. I don't understand. Is it not my father too?
Yeah.
They say, please leave the house. Go and get married. Or they will say they want to get something for them. So maybe the other day he even said, Tammy, so you want to tell me that in your phone there's nobody you can call for money? I said, is it that bad? Is it that bad? Like he wants me out of the house already? That's it's unfair. How old are you? You're supposed to have somebody that you're talking to. I said, please, at this moment of my life, I want to make a living out of myself. I'm career focused.
But why do you have this idea that you can, while you're trying to develop yourself, you cannot have a man by the side?
Of course,
I want to make money, so men stay away.
It's not that.
Okay.
But then when you meet these men, in quotes, while you're trying to build yourself, sometimes if you're not careful in the process, you can lose building yourself.
Okay.
When a man wants to make money, he keeps aside woman and relationship.
That's for a man
to get the money. But when a woman wants to make money, she goes into a relationship.
That's not general. How?
I mean,
Brandon,
that's not general.
We know that men build women up financially, but it's not the rule.
They focus on love. Some women, when they want to make money, they focus
that's
in
some women, not all women.
Some women. But I just give you that illustration so that a man would set these things aside and focus. While
women still set men aside. And see her now saying that she wants to make money and so.
So she said,
So if the man comes back, he will say no.
Yeah, parents do that. Yeah,
don't
that period of
do
my life
that
I
too,
did.
but
So it's
as long
normal.
as he aligns
So
with your
right
goals.
now,
Another question I want to ask is: do you girls think you're ready to get married? Miracle. Do you think you're ready to get married?
She said she's passing now.
Okay.
I doubt. At the beginning of the year, I told myself, yes, I've arrived.
How far?
I think I'm ready. I finished university. So that's the next thing, getting married.
By February.
No. I told myself, there's actually more to marriage than getting yourself mentally ready. There's more. So I just said, no.
I saw a post that the girl says, she and her friends are always saying, God, bring the man, we're here to get married. And her friend asked her, if the man come, how much will you contribute for the wedding? And then she now thought about it like, I'm not even buy a gown for myself. Wedding preparations, you will not be able to contribute anything. Like, I need to build on, I need to like get my money up. So that's also a part of the process of getting married.
Yes. And what if you are financially
But
ready but to me, marriage is more than
financially ready. So
being financially
Boy, it's a
ready.
factor.
It's a factor, but it's more. Some women are not even great mothers. Cannot even take care of children right now. So when we talk about marriage and all those things, I mean, I want to do. Yes, I'm married. I want to do it too, but when you now start thinking about the things that comes with marriage, the understanding, communication.
Do you think you're ready?
No,
you're
I'm
not. Why do you think you're
actually.
not?
Because
are you above 25?
I'm 24.
Okay. Why? Okay, you're not ready.
You feel you're not ready.
So that
or you know you're not ready.
I'm not ready. I know I'm not ready.
You know. That's Zalem. Are you ready?
Zalem looks ready.
Okay. Are you above 25?
I'm turning 25 soon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think you're ready? Why do you think so?
Yeah, because I think I am, because I've built myself generally, and not just for marriage, but in every area. I feel like I have an amazing life that I appreciate so much, and I've taken proper steps. So I've learned about this thing called marriage and every other thing. Like, I know I'm ready. I'll fit in real good.
Okay. All right. Tammy, do you think you're ready?
I don't think I am.
Are you above 25?
No, I'm 24.
Okay. You're
so
not.
I don't think I'm ready, because on my own, there's still some things I'm even struggling myself.
Okay.
And not to add somebody inside. And now bring baby on top.
Yeah,
I still have to.
I think that's sincere.
I don't know. Some days, you know, I tell that some days I feel like I'm ready.
Some days you're not ready.
Some days I'm like, I'm not sure to marry now. So I really don't know. I think this indecisiveness is part of the reason why I might not be fully ready. But sometimes I feel like, I just there's some days where you need a husband.
I feel
like days where you just get home and just like am I home alone every day? Nobody
What if
some days like that, I feel like I'm ready. I want to get married, and days where it's I'm not overwhelmed.
I think the only fear I actually do have is when it comes to career. I'm always so scared of, will I actually be able to balance career and motherhood and marriage and everything? And so I think that's where the fear comes in for me. But that's why I say I always think about it. I always work towards it. I look at people that have gone ahead of me and have built this thing, and I'm like, okay, they did it well.
I think the fear I have in this marriage thing is not even about career. It's for me. I think
social. I have milk. Sorry. Yeah, she was saying something about why I meant so sure about marriage.
About marriage.
Yes. I feel like it's not everybody.
Men are not so sure.
It's even men that I think it's a woman that actually knows when she's ready. But men, they really don't know this. Sometimes the woman has to like convince you to make you make the move. Give you all the signs so that you will do the thing. If you think it is to provide for somebody.
I decided to ask you guys this question because we're seeing a lot of young people. I mean, even people even get married late these days. It used to be way earlier, right? But 24, 25, if you 25, 26, you have a grasp of yourself and you think you can.
And the
why
man
not?
is ready, basically.
I think the man's readiness has a major role to play in my readiness. Because if I say that you are ready, I will be ready for you.
Victoria, you're not saying anything.
Also, someone told me, a married woman, that she asked me this whole, and I told her my stance, and she said the truth is you can never be
so
completely ready.
Yeah.
So just try and make up your mind.
Yeah.
And have a serious person by your side who is ready. And
But when you
no serious person is coming.
Brandon,
you guys are talking
Actually, I do mind, from my own perspective, I actually don't mind building with someone whose values align with mine.
Okay.
But at this point, I really don't think I am ready.
Ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
I respect those that love to build themselves up before marriage, like women and girls that love to build themselves up, because so that you will not be a support to a system, you will not be a liability. But then, when a man is successful and he's doing well, he'll be like, oh, it's time, I need a woman to now, balance this equation. But when a woman becomes successful, she'll be like, I don't need a man.
I think it depends on
Okay.
I
don't need a man.
So, I think the man have so many failed relationships. Even there
are some men too that
it's when you think the man's job is just to provide, like that's the only thing you do for you. That's why like you don't need a man.
That's very true.
A man's duty is more of to protect than to provide.
That's not.
I'm not saying
that's
more
the man
of to
is
protect.
Exactly, but that's not the
When I say
only-
to
that's not
protect,
the only-
as a lady of age, if you're moving on the road, someone be like, that's my person wife.
Can you actually protect
like
it?
they will already thank you and respect you. No, I mean like I don't mean toasting. I don't mean toasting. I mean like respect. No, I mean respect. Like generally, like when they say this woman can be somebody's wife, so they respect that man figure in a woman's life. So there are some women that want to be in marriage to have, so that at least they will not look down on them.
So apart Zalem, every other person thinks this year is okay.
I'm ready to get married, but I'm not saying like this now. But I think that I'm
This
ready.
weekend,
So
man,
and I said something that the readiness of the man has a major factor to play in marriages. If I'm not saying like you're so ready, and me, I'm like trying to get my readiness, then it might not work. So come ready, I will get ready for you.
All right, there's a message here. This person says, "Hi guys, I am Excel. So there's this dream of mine that's very large, and most people might even wonder how possible it is to achieve it. I desire to achieve this dream at my current age, 16. And in 2 months and some days, I'll be 17. I've settled with the mindset that I will achieve it. I tell myself how it will happen. I do not know, but I believe it will happen. A Uniport student once said, as far as he's concerned, nothing is impossible. For Mary to get pregnant without a man, then nothing is impossible. So there are 3 things I believe. My age is not a barrier, as Josiah in the Bible began to reign at the age of 8. Okay. With God, nothing is impossible. And for fire to come down from heaven, for Paul to sleep in water, for water to turn to wine, for fire to come down from heaven, for Jesus to walk on water, then nothing is impossible. In summary, age is not a barrier. With God, all things are possible, and it will happen. I don't know how. I know I will. Wow. Okay.
This person has watched a lot of Nigerian movies.
Can I say
And Telemundo. She has watched a lot of movies.
Why? Why do you think so?
Everything she said there. I'm sorry to say this. I love you, Excel, but I hope the dream is realistic. No, because of the way she explained the thing. I feel like it's not a realistic
Only
dream.
a miracle can make
If
it
you're
happen.
looking at something, a dream where only a miracle can make it happen in this kind of, then I feel like sometimes it might not be like something realistic.
So he or she didn't share what it is, but I also like that the possibility thing, right? But even with possibility, you have to put in the work. You have to put in the work, the needed work to ensure that it comes to pass. She says he or he will be 17, right? But this is really inspiring. I think he, highlighting that, oh, this person did this at this age, and that I think I can do it.
So you'll be able to do it. Just push.
All right. So it means that the possibility of the cruise control team going for a wedding, I mean, either Zalem or Luna this year,
is very high.
Yeah.
So attend the wedding. I mean, cruise team will have our trip,
I'll be sharing food. I said it first. So nobody should start dragging it.
Sorry.
All right. I just wanted to ask that part of. I mean, we've talked a lot about business, and that part is what we don't talk about a lot of times.
Yeah.
There are a lot of unserious young people these days.
Thank you.
Talking stages. People are playing very safe, and a number of factors that
playing very safe
that contributes to that. But it's okay to keep your heart open. If you want to get married now, you're 25, 26. Of course, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, and the person is going to come, and then I hope that when the person comes, you identify the person. And apart identifying the person, so I think it's also being ready. I mean, the level of readiness is important. As much as you're not 100% ready, I don't think anyone ever is, but that level of readiness. Okay, so let's talk about finances, right? So Rona said, the girl said she won't even be able to afford the wedding gown, right? Sometimes you're putting in a lot of work, and you think you're making progress, but it's not translating to money, cash, right? Do you think you're making progress at that time?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, I've learned from examples that there are things that money cannot buy.
Yeah.
That is values, and some kind of. There are many things I've achieved this year that is not money, that I can't show you in my bank account balance, but due to this person's number I have, I can make money through this connection, through this contact, through this exposure, through this experience. I can even sell an idea to someone from an example I have learned from meeting people.
Yeah.
So it is of value. And I can exchange that for money any day, anytime.
Okay.
Like, for example, I talked about buying shares and everything. I took this finance class since last year, but I was waiting till I get a job this year. So then it was no money. It is now I'm actually implementing it and actually going to make the money out of it. So the knowledge was not money, but it was something very useful for me, and it's now I'm seeing the outcome. So it was actually good. I will count it as progress.
Okay. I
agree.
All right, no problem. So I guess
you didn't tell us if you are ready or if you are ready.
It's true.
How did you
Let me
ask a question to you now. Please, so do you think you're ready to get married? You are ready to get married this year?
Oh my god!
Don't do that.
I didn't see that coming.
Don't do that side straight ahead.
No, I am very ready. So maybe we have 3 weddings that we'll possibly attend this year. All right, it's been amazing. I mean, talking about this, analyzing 6 months, 5 months, and then the 6th. I think Excel has sent it. He said, if people in 18 were told that the time will come when metals will fly. Excel, you and philosophy. Waiting now. They would have said it's unrealistic. Think about it. All right, no problem. So anything is possible, Excel, right? Anything is possible. Put your mind to it. Put in the work, and you surely can do it. Thank you for texting. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I mean, 6 months being amazing, and then we're looking forward to so much more to come. I mean, by December when we're doing this show, we should have been counting number of successes. I mean, saying it's been a beautiful year. And one thing we try to do on Cruise Control is talk about real stuff that affect young people. I mean, these things are real. Things as waiting that you do in my life. It's been 5 months, right? And you want to look at your education, your progress, your business, whatever, relationship, and then just do this analysis. Thank you so much, guys, for coming to the studios. Great time talking to you. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you, Victory. I like Victoria. Thank you, Victory. Thank you, Rona. Thank you, Miracle. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you, Delight. And thank you, Zalem.
Thank you.
Do have a beautiful week. I'm Queen Chima. Up next is Sunday Family Special. Still on Today 95.1 FM. Do stay with us. Brandon, the only guy standing. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Good night.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
me daily, give me day bell. Too short to my give me day bell. Too sure you were gonna my day bell. Straight forward, I no get to kill. Go yeah, go say go. 247 me a day, you know strong, make you do for day kill. Mungo no ori me day, can't go, Muduro can't go. Oti feti moti sanleo. I've been active, I jam me sare o. Mugbe won sare o. Eyin temi e je kajaye o. Aye kan lo wa ko saye o.
Shit. Left your section of kind of shit. That ain't your bitch, that's bitch. You don't like it, you can suck dick. I just hopped off from the DJ, from the edge to occasion. Got a fetish for the money, yes sir. If she thick, then I wanna pay her. Bring more Naira, do an Asia. And I'm outside with the tribe. Gang activity outside. Please believe I done seen the other side. Remember all we had to be was alive. Now I got 20 V's in garage. Each house, overseas in the lot. That was 30 MGs every P I prescribe. You can see it in my eyes, don't bother me. I be in the streets on 10 when I'm out.
And if you wish me bad, I swear now back to center. She just love my call me love, if me bother. And if my success they disturb you, go recover. If you know the money, no they call me, no disturbance. I'm alright. Take your time, check calendar. I'm alright. Take your time, check calendar.
I don't know, no. Make them they turn up. They don't see me coming. Are you ready for me? Energy like cocaine. Cream they like cream. When I look at TV enter, then I go bring you to end my love. Share you want to see mental. I don't give them back to send the word no. Policeman, many men in my convoy. The boy know they take it so if you don't, they go give you a back
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Follow the road, Oga. Follow the road. I probably follow the road. Even DJ, follow the road.
Greetings to you, wonderful people of River State. Thank you for joining us on this health enlightenment, sponsored by Baba Champion Herbs. Baba Champion Day for number 62 Ikwere Road by Egede Street, my one, Diego, Port Harcourt. You can call Baba Champion on 081 69 20 2525. 081 69 20 2525. Let's hear from the chief consultant of Baba Champion Herbs.
Thank you so much, dear listener, for being with us. I am the chief consultant of Champion Herbs International. We are located at number 62 Ikwere Road by Egede Street, my one Job Port Harcourt. Today, I want to talk about erectile dysfunction.
Please, could you break it down so everybody can understand this?
Erectile dysfunction is the inability to get and keep an erection firm enough for intercourse. Having erection trouble from time to time is not necessarily an issue for concern, but when it happens frequently, it becomes a problem. It can cause stress, affect your self-confidence, and contribute to relationship problems. This problem of getting or keeping an erection can also be a sign of an underlying health condition that needs treatment. Male sexual arousal is a complex process that involves the brain, hormones, emotions, nerves, of substance abuse, sleep disorders. If you don't sleep well, it can affect your performance. Tobacco use, too much sugar in the body, obesity, metabolic syndrome, which is a condition involving increased blood pressure, high insulin level, body fat around the waist, among others. We are located at number 62 Ikwere Road by Egede Street, my one Job Port Harcourt, Baba Champion Herbs.
We are not jack of all trade. We focus mainly on those issues that cause embarrassment to you as a man.
You can call us on 081 69 20 25 25. 081 69 20 25 25.
Does it come with symptoms?
Of course, it comes with a lot of symptoms which, if neglected, could result to terrible conditions.
The symptoms include trouble getting an erection or keeping an erection, reduced sexual desire. You find yourself as a man, you don't have urge at all. When you experience other sexual problems,
such as premature ejaculation or weak erection.
Other ailments such as diabetes, heart disease might also be linked to erectile dysfunction. We are located at number 62 Ikwere Road by Egede Street, my one Job Port Harcourt, Baba Champion Herbs. You can call us on 081 69 20 25 25. 081 69 20 25 25.
Any advice to our listeners?
I advise any man with any of these symptoms to quickly visit an expert. Even if it gets you embarrassed talking to an expert, never mind that. Most times, treating an underlying condition is enough to reverse erectile dysfunction. In other cases, medication or direct treatment helps a lot. So, when you see yourself in this situation, visit an expert. Don't feel ashamed to talk to an expert. We are located at number 62 Ikwere Road by Egede Street, my one Job Port Harcourt, Baba Champion Herbs. You can call us on 081 69 20 25 25. 081 69 20 25 25.
Baba Champion Herbs is all about you. Once you get to our office, we will run a thorough checkup on you, which includes comprehensive tests that will help us locate the root cause of your problem before we face it squarely. We don't charge anything to run the test on you. It is of utmost importance to us because it helps us to actually understand your situation and how best to tackle it. Remember, at Baba Champion Herbs, our main focus is on how to bring out the real action in you as a man. Make no mistakes. Visit an expert.
We are located at number 62 Ikwere Road by Egede Street, my one Job Port Harcourt, Baba Champion Herbs. You can call us on 081 69 20 25 25. 081 69 20 25 25.
Thank you very much.
Follow the road, Oga. Follow the road. I probably follow who know road. Even DJ, follow who know road. Even DJ, follow who know road.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Some people where you meet go show you good loving. All them go come your way. Don't let them go away. For me I hold my baby. For me I hope, for me I hope, for me I hope, for me I hope, my baby. For me I hope, for me I hope. Some people in your life are there to make you smile. Or they will take your pain and give you so much joy. For me I hope, for me I hope, my baby. For me I hope, for me I hope, for me I hope, for me I hope, my baby. For me I hope, for me I hope.
A Sunday Family Special on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. It's been 3 weeks of great conversations about finances and the family, from questions that have been answered to reactions from conversations that were had. I mean, last week we had a text message from the previous week that our guest did give analysis to, which is what I said 2 weeks ago, that we want to be a little solution oriented on the show, because there are challenges. These challenges can be stated clearly by you. This is what's going on in my family, and how can it be sorted out exactly? What are those ways that I want to navigate whatever's happening? And we want to do those analyses here on the show. So you're a part of a family, your husband, your wife, your child, and there's something bothering you about the family circle. These things should be sorted out. It should be talked about. Then this is that perfect show to say on Sunday Family Special. My name is Queen Chima. We're expecting Daniel Washington. He's trying to get here, little delay. But then we got a message from last week, and I'm just going to quickly read that out, where the man laid his heart bare, saying, this is what I'm going through. And the previous week, we got another message that was discussed last week with Ben Ohaji. But this week, last week, this message dropped, and he said, I put every family resource in my wife's absolute care. She is in charge of the family business. She now acts as the head of the home and does not respect me any longer. When I am angry with any of her actions, she does not care about it, nor feel sorry over anything. What do I do? Now, we don't know what sort of family business it is, but hey, so a family business is a family business. So this is probably the family's major stream of survival or of income. And the man decides to say, all right, share everything, take charge. I want you to control everything that comes out of this business: buying, selling, budgeting, financial runs, and just everything. And with this text message sort of states and makes it feel like the business is doing fine. But now the woman has taken not just the role of championing this business, but also championing the affairs of the home in terms of being and acting like the head of the home. Now, the man clearly states here that she now acts as the head of the home. And I mean power, money, and does not respect me any longer. That's also another clause. When I am angry with any of her actions, she doesn't even care about it, nor feels sorry over anything. What do I do? Now, this brings to mind questions that some people have asked. I mean, over the years, say that there's something about power and money for a woman that can make some women lose their respect for men, or just embody a level of independence that reads off any other person. So I don't care. Some women, I don't even need a man. For some women, for some other ones, we've heard stories of a man falling out of finances, not having enough, and then the wife actively working or doing whatever she does to make money. And then you've heard stories where the man has to suffer because he's no longer the provider. Last week, our guest was clearly stating that, well, as much as provision is a man's responsibility, there's so much more a man can provide or should provide that makes him a man. Not just finances. Well, finances is important. And he said, if he's not able to do that at the moment, it doesn't mean that he should be disrespected. We also heard Daniel Washington say the same thing 2 weeks about provision, not just being about finances, but being about a number of other things that the man brings. But how many women understand this exactly? Hey, if you're not bringing money to the table, man, we don't care about your other form of provision. You want to lead, or you want to just go around like I'm the man of the house. Well, you're going to see Pepe for some women. So whilst we read this again and we get our guests to talk about this, addressing this situation, we'd also want you to call in and give in your thoughts or even ask any question that is family related. We just had Daniel Washington join. Good evening, Daniel Washington. Thank you for coming.
Good evening and happy new month, Queen.
Happy new month.
Have you observed that I'm always the first to wish happy
Yes, you are. I
Very
am
consistent.
bad. I am bad at this. You know, I wonder how people craft messages and say, when I see it, I'm like, wow, these people are amazing.
I have a friend, she's based in Lagos.
Yes.
For the past 3 years, she always sends me a happy new month message.
And it's brilliant.
Every month.
It's good.
First of every, I don't know how she does it. But I mean, it's worth all the commendation.
I did not send anybody. I'm serious.
And people sent you, right?
Yes, a few people sent me, but I wonder how they do it. Right? It's commendable.
It's a good
and it's
culture,
a good
though.
thing. Yes,
It's a
a good
good culture.
culture. It is.
Yeah.
Happy New Month.
Thank you,
Daniel Washington.
Thank you.
All right. I just read the message, but I'm going to read it again
Okay.
because we trying to make Sunday Family Special more solution based. We're saying families sending some challenges and let's
Okay.
talk about it.
Beautiful.
This message came in last week and he said, I put every family resources in my wife's absolute care. She is in charge of the family business. She now acts as the head of the home and does not respect me any longer. When I am angry with any of her action, she does not care about it, nor feels sorry over anything. What do I do? It requires taking a deep breath. I mean,
You know, the reason why I had to just take a sigh of relief, because it borders on many things. Many things. One, we see a breach in submission there. Two, we see a breach in abuse. We see an abuse of delegated authority. Three, I'm being very careful. Else I would have said, why did you...
Yes, that question.
Do you understand? Why did you put everything in your wife's name? What was over you? Yeah, I'm
Is
not...
it a crime?
No, it's not. When I mean what was over you, at what point did it lift?
Okay.
Do you understand? Why? I wish I was talking with him, or he could even put a call across and let's just have the talk. Okay, I need to know why you did that. It's not bad. Do you understand? It's not bad to make your spouse board of trustee. All right, but when you make her the sole operator of the entire business, it's not also bad. But the woman that deserves authority is the woman that is grounded in submission and respect. Yes, that's my point. Authority in the hands of a stubborn woman is a big risk.
Okay.
Yeah, authority in the hands of a stubborn woman is a big risk. Even more money. Money in the hands of a woman without character is a time bomb. And that's like the circumstance where he's found himself. Now, the company belongs to him. he has every power to say, okay, since this you're not behaving well, you're not acting in so and so capacity as what I've made you, okay, I want to withdraw you from managing this business. But now, this is my concern. My concern is if there was a written agreement, if there was legal documents to back what he said he did, what is the guarantee that the woman in question would want to bring or halt that agreement or bring it to an end and say, okay, my husband is okay, I'm not doing again as you have instructed, and all of that. Now, all of these things call for, and like I'd always say too, I don't want to quickly jump into, I'm just trying to touch all corners because I've not heard from the woman.
Yeah.
Do you understand? This is
It's
the
a
man.
single story.
Exactly. This is the man saying that I did all of these things, but you will not know what the woman has gone through. It's very easy to just come on air and you say, and it's not like I'm doubting him. I'm not doubting him. Okay, but the point is, you put the business in her name. She's now disrespecting you. She does not listen to you. She's acting in some funny and awkward way. The question is, nothing just happened. What is causing that trigger? Because for you to register that company in her name, or if you said you register the company, or you put her in charge, that's the word, put her in charge. For you to have put her in charge of the company, it's you exacting some level of trust in her. So at what point was the trust breached? What happened? What is that conflict that transpired that cannot be resolved? And the only solution is looking like removing her from that place of authority where you've put her because you feel and think she's abusing that authority. So we need to hear from the other side. But as we speak, he is not the first person having such and that kind of experience. There are guys who said, I hit some amount of money, but the moment I put my wife to say, do this, manage this, she started misbehaving. She started acting in some kind of way because she started saying money. I said, you know, that kind of thing. That's why if in some relationships where the man is doing very well, he'll tell the wife, don't work, don't do anything, sit in the house, enjoy yourself and take care of the kids. I'll be paying you. Because there are certain men who feel like the moment she goes out there and gets exposed, she begins to disrespect him in return. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So all of these factors are being put in place. At the end of the day, what would make that man begin to do a U-turn? There's a breach in trust. There's a breach in submission. There's a breach in respect. So we need to know the facts of the story. What he just dropped is just a pinch. We need to know the facts of the story.
Yeah. So, but since this is what we have, we're going to obviously work with it. But then, if you can hear us, you sent this last week, and I said we're going to deal with it this week. You want to give details to it. Do you want to even call in and choose to be anonymous? Obviously, that's very permitted on the show. But then, Daniel Washington. This brings that age-long conversation of questioning a woman's submission when it has to do with power and money. You know, you just mentioned, you highlighted how some men would rather have, okay, I'll pay you. Some men, you even see, even if women are now saying, oh, you're an insecure man. No, I can't be with an insecure man. I can fly however I want to and make whatever money I want to. You're trying to stop me, you're trying to cut my wings and all of that. And some men say, I'm going to pay you any amount. I'll pay you just because they want to feel or stay in charge. So that age-long question of power and money for a woman, what it means for a woman, and then just opposing what it means for a man.
First of all, heightened insecurity is a red flag for a thriving relationship or a successful marriage. When I mean heightened insecurity, I'm saying heightened because you cannot completely exonerate your insecurities. You would always have 1%, 2%. But the most important thing is that your insecurity in marriage goes down to a reasonable point where the marriage can experience peace. Now, when you begin to get threatened by a wealthy woman, it's a challenge in the society, though. It's a long age challenge in the society. You understand? Where no. She stays in a duplex. The rent is 7 million. No. I don't need her. I need a girl that is. Now, the problem is not her money. It's not her wealth. The problem is with her character.
Okay.
The man feels like she might not be able to submit. And please, though today is not the conversation, it's not a day for the conversation around submission. I just hope that people don't think that I'm seeing submission as the way it's been abused in society.
Yeah.
You understand? Now, but my point is this. When you are being threatened by a wealthy woman, a prominent woman, a woman doing well for herself, it is a pointer for two things. One, she has a character problem, or you have a character problem.
Okay.
Whilst you think she might have an independent spirit or an independent attitude, and it can threaten your respect as a man, you on your own you should also look out for the tendency of an esteem challenge sprouting out at the sight of a lady who is doing well for herself. And let me say this, I mean, which kind of lady would you prefer? The one that is eating from her family house, or the one that has nothing in her family house and is able to build a business that is funding her life and paying her rent and taking care of her without the assistance of a man? Which would you prefer? Would you prefer a financial liability, or you would prefer an asset? Do you understand? Financial asset. I mean, when I say asset can be money, can be something else. So I'm trying to say that it's part of the challenges in society. Society wakes up tomorrow and says, women are this, women are scum, men are scum, women are cheats. This is what, that is. See, you cannot use a single to judge a whole. All right? You cannot wake up and say, women are this. Some women, if I'm trying to narrow down some women, the women you have met, they are what you say they are. You can't afford to generalize it. The men that you have met, apparently you've dated, they are what you say they are. Not all the men. If you say men, I begin to put a question mark. I want to say body count. I begin to put a question mark on the kind of life you've lived. It means that you've come across hundreds of men. And I don't know what to call you in that kind of situation. But the point I'm trying to make is very simple. When you say women, insecurity, they are not submissive, they are not this, whether you like it or not, a woman would naturally be submissive to a guy that has vision. Very, very important. Vision is big. Not just discovered vision, pursuing vision. Financial stability, masculine maturity. You get all of these anchor points. They are very, very important. And well, I'm also aware that there are some women, they see all the men with all these good qualities and they still act foolish, which is quite understandable. They don't deserve the good men. Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk. It's a single story like we highlighted, but if we're going to deal with this critically and say, in this position, what should this man do? Because that's what he's asking. What do I do in this position where he has put every family resource in the wife's absolute care? She's in charge of the family business. She now acts as the head of the home and does not respect him any longer. When he's angry with any of her actions, she does not care about or feel sorry over anything. What can he do?
Okay, let me just respond to this question or this matter with the way it is. And please let it not be taken as my absolute response until I hear from the woman. First of all, you ceded your authority and your masculinity as a man to the woman. The first thing you should do is to retrieve it. Yes. It's at the core of every man's masculinity to be able to provide. And the woman's responsibility to be able to help, support, and also assist. Do you understand? But if you push everything to her, she becomes the breadwinner of the home. She becomes the head of the home. In no home is a woman the head. Do you understand? There can be circumstances where she's the temporal breadwinner because maybe something happened to the man's finance and all of that. But say head of the home. No. First thing first I would advise he should do is to retrieve his authority and his masculinity as a man. When he does that, then he should now sit her down and the both of them should sort out issues. Because what exactly is causing her gross misconduct, you need to track it down. She needs to, you see, it's a little bit dicey. So I cannot even venture into the matter if I've not known the principles of the case. What I'll simply say is, retrieve half he should retrieve half his authority first, because I mean, I cannot understand. I have a company, and I mean, I should be able to make my wife part of the board of trustee or the director. She should own a percentage of the share, but getting to run and do everything for the company, it's on the basis of some kind of agreement. Maybe he's floating 2 or 3 companies, and he's running the 2. He gave her one to run or something. But in this particular matter,
it's like absolute.
It's absolute. Yeah, so it means that's the major source of income for the family. So what would you be doing? On what grounds did you do that? Why did you do that? What was your reason? So there are a lot of matters I would ask and I would question. But before I do that, if he says that his honor, his respect is being threatened, even his place as the head of the home is being threatened and played down on, he should retrieve his authority. He should retrieve his place as the man and stand his ground. That's the first thing that ought to be done. Put her in her place and you stand in your place. She's the woman, she's not the man. She's the woman, she's not the head. He is the head. And please, when I say this, I'm talking about bully.
Yeah.
Please, let us get it well. So they don't think as I'm saying this and I'm saying, deal with her. Deal with her. Drill her. Show her shige. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying put her in her place. Retrieve your masculinity. Your headship. That's the word. Retrieve your headship from her and stand your ground as the head of the home and begin to put things right. Do you understand?
Yeah. In a situation like this where it's not handled, I mean, maybe he's not able to retrieve this headship and it goes extreme. What could that, what does that portend for the marriage?
You see, conflicts. At the core of all of these things we're talking about is conflicts in view. Okay. There are 2 angles to conflict amongst many. All right. A conflict can lead to discovery or damage.
Okay.
Do you understand? A conflict, when not properly handled, can lead to damage. And the damage can be casualty of the children, casualty of your spouse, casualty of the marriage. The marriage can be brought to a halt because of a mismanaged conflict. But when a conflict is properly managed, it can lead to discovery. Discovery of what? You'll be able to ascertain the capacity of your spouse. You'll be able to know the tendency, the triggers of your spouse. I don't think that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you get to find out a couple of things if you're humble enough for you both as husband and wife to resolve your conflict. When you resolve that conflict, what happens? You begin to know better things. You begin to ensure that this particular challenge doesn't ensue again.
Yeah.
And even if it does, you know how to go about solving it. And that's what most people need to understand. See, a peaceful and a responsible home is not the absence of conflict. It is the presence of conflict, and even more, the presence of an understanding to resolve conflict. Because conflict not resolved would always tilt to damage. That's what we need to understand.
Yeah. Conflict not always resolved will tilt to damage. I mean, there could be a family listening. This might not be the typical instance in that family, right? It might not be the typical instance in that family, but there's still that grappling around, the woman probably earning more and the man earning less. Someone just redirected me to a message where he said, what do you have to tell ladies who emotionally abuse a man? She doesn't take advice. I correct her for one thing always, and if you shout at her, she will start saying you don't respect her. She always finds an excuse even though she knows she was wrong, and I am dying
That's
emotionally.
gaslighting, that's guilt tripping. Walk away. See, I've said it before, and I want to call you Chinwe. Queen, I've said it before. Not once, not twice. You don't have a business in a relationship with someone that doesn't listen. someone that doesn't take corrections, someone that is not open to change. Like, I'm not saying absolute, I'm not saying be perfect, but you should be able to own up that you are wrong. You should be able to take the fact that you are not perfect and you have mistake. When people try to correct you, oftentimes than not, the good ones, it's a proof that they love you. When somebody hates you, they will leave you to die on your own and say nothing to you. I don't know if you understand me. So in that guy now who has spoken, please, bro, if you're talking to her, she's not listening. I want to think that shouting for her, raising your voice, yelling at her is your last straw as a result of multiplicity of reactions and trying to hold yourself on many fronts. You understand? So my point is very simple. Men, if she's not listening, you are dying. She's gaslighting you. She's guilt-tripping you. You've called it emotional abuse, and that's what it is. And nobody wants to be there. And the reason why he's losing his mind is because he's in love with her. That's the funny part. He's in love with her, and he's not conceding the option of walking away.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So whilst he's not considering the option of walking away, he's only left with the solution of trying to resolve it. But how do you try to resolve with someone that does not take corrections? Ain't even listening. Do you understand? That's part of the challenge. So, but men, in relationships that would work, you are first intentional before emotional. Yes. So part of intentionality is that you are able to walk away when the tenets that sustain for a healthy relationship is being broken. Would it get to you? The answer is yes. Would it hurt you? The answer is yes. But let me say this. Maybe people don't even know. You build friendship with a particular girl when you envisage the prospect to date her. You date a lady when you envisage the prospect to spend the rest of your life with her. Unfortunately, today in society, people do not date for the purpose of lifetime union. People do not build friendship for the purpose of being able to build healthy relationships and friendship. But they just date because of how much they want to explore body parts. They want to explore fun. They want to trigger dopamine and all of that. You understand? It's part of the challenge. So that kind of guy, you are first intentional. Intentionality is key. And what people do not even understand, every relationship should have a purpose. Where are we heading to? How long is this relationship? What are we doing? Why are we dating? Why do you say I should date you? These are the questions that most girls would never ask. They don't have the courage enough to ask. Why? Because they are emotional. He is emotional. Let's enjoy ourselves. Let's enjoy the emotional ride and do relationship for the next 6 years with the guy saying nothing.
All right, I'm sure that response was got. So in the case, back to this story of family and the finances. I mean, I said earlier that you might not have this typical example where the man handed over everything to the woman, but you probably have a family, a husband listening or a wife listening. Oh, I'm earning more than my husband. My husband is not giving as much as I expect him to, or the husband isn't earning again. And they stacked that financial imbalance sort of in the family. And the man probably feels terrible because he's obviously seeing that the woman is treating him a certain way because he no longer earns cash. So how can that balance
It's a problem. It's a problem. And I'll tell you why. Okay? First of all, I want to be sure that the man is not stingy. Yes.
Because there are those kind of men.
Yes, that's one. Two, I want to also be sure that a man is not lazy and leaving his responsibility or his responsibilities
to the
wife to handle because she earns more. Because a responsible woman that earns 1 million and her husband earns 500, but with that 500, he's meeting up his responsibilities in the time when he doesn't have. Seeing that he has a track record of coming through as it is his responsibility, she should be able to fit in and assist. Do you understand? It's all about being a responsible man. Like I said, I want to hope he's not a stingy man. I want to hope it's not the man that would fold his hands because the woman in question is earning very high. So he thinks that he wants to run his home with the woman's finance and still instruct her when he's not doing anything.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I'm saying that if the man is doing his best, whilst doing his best, he's still being insulted by the woman and disrespected by the woman, she needs to be called to order.
We just had a message from the man
Beautiful,
explaining.
beautiful. I want that,
Yeah,
please.
so he says, thank you for your objective discussion on the issue. As to why I did that, I did it because I had a child outside wedlock.
Okay.
That was before I married her. So in order to make her feel safe, I did everything I did in her name because I absolutely love her.
Wow.
We've been married for 20 years. She was never like this before from the beginning. She controls the 3 businesses. She also controls the account.
3 businesses.
Yes. My role is to give her administrative directives in the day-to-day running of the business. Even to give me the agreed monthly money for my personal use as a man, she does not any longer. I brought the issue before her parents. They have talked to her. She said, I don't need any personal money. This is not funny any longer to me. I love her and I love my children. I just need her to still honor me as her husband. Thank you so much, by the way, for sending this message.
Thank you so much. I love this. It's a little bit elaborate,
Yes.
even though I would still love.
You have more questions?
Yes, because when we had the conversation, we talked about when we talk about business, all right, there's what is called Corporate Affairs Commission, where every business is being incorporated as a legal entity that can sue and also be sued.
Yeah.
According to Company and Allied Matters Act, CAMAT 2004. I don't know if it's been amended. All right. Now, I'm saying this because if she's running the 3 businesses by his directive, just to be able to build a level of trust and love he has for her, without legal backing, appended signatory,
He can take everything back.
he can get everything back. And let me state this, please. Men like this, can be... There are still good men, I must say so. There are still good men.
I mean, he is with his side of the story.
Yeah, with his side of the story.
Yes.
Saying that he had to the whole idea is I want you to truly believe that I want to build my world with you.
Yeah.
I want to build a good, healthy family with you. So take this, do this. And sometimes...
He still does administration, like you said.
Okay,
But
but
everything
the
financial.
needed remittance is not being carried out by the lady. And it's part of a challenge. Now we need to know why she's acting that way. Because you never can tell. She can come up tomorrow and say, the reason why I've been acting this way is because my husband is a waster. I'm not saying he's a waster.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that there are 3 kinds of men. There are 3 kinds of individuals in marriage when it has to do with money. We have the managers, we have the spenders, we have the wasters. Do you understand? Most of the times, we're beginning
even to his personal, because he
Exactly,
there's
yeah,
a personal money, right? I mean for upkeep.
Yeah.
She doesn't give that to
Do you
him.
understand? I mean, if he had to do that just to win her trust, I'm almost even tempted to ask his age and ask the age of the lady.
And they've been together for 20 years.
They said age is just a number, but not completely.
Yeah.
You can't totally exonerate age. Whilst we know that mindset is key when we discuss the concept of maturity in relationship, but we cannot outrightly remove age from the picture. All right. If he's a 52 years old guy, or he's a 48 years old guy, or he's a 40 and above year old guy, and we're dealing with a girl of 28, 33, 34, I'll begin to think about a couple of things. All right. Bearing in mind that there is the kind of woman we call the materialistic woman.
Yeah.
Because I mean, a man that had a child out of wedlock and is doing everything to ensure that he wins your trust, that he will be with you, nobody will come and hijack the family or do anything, and he entrusts you with 3 businesses to handle. I think what you should owe him at best is let me not say absolute submission, but some degree of reverence, respect, honor, love, submission. Because I mean, let me tell you the truth. there are leading causes of broken relationships and marriage. One of it is money.
Money.
Money has the capacity to reveal the original character of a spouse in the relationship and a marriage. From the man's own side of the story, it is obvious that money is revealing her color. However, like I said, we have not heard the woman's side of the story. We are just attending to what he said from his own angle of the story. Do you understand? Money has the capacity. Whilst money has the capacity to reveal a woman's patience and character, poverty has the capacity to reveal a man's patience and a woman's patience also. Don't say a man or a woman is humble until money comes. Money is a revealer. Wealth is a revealer. And like I said, if his masculinity and his headship as the man of the family is being threatened, it is not hate or it's not hatred to withdraw the things that he has entrusted in our hands. Maybe when you, just like our parents back then, when they buy maybe when they get a phone for you, okay, when they see that the phone is beginning to overwhelm you,
they take it back.
What do?
They get it back.
They retrieve the phone. Why? To see whether you can reset.
And they can still give it to you.
Thank you. That's my point. That's where I'm going towards. All right. If he's seen that her gross misconduct is as a result of the fact that he has entrusted virtually everything and she's outrightly forgetting herself, he has the locus. He has such powers to withdraw things from her. Except the 3 businesses were registered in her name.
Then there's a problem.
Then that's a problem. Do you understand? If the 3 businesses were registered in her name.
Because with this level, she might decide to fight to any length.
That's my point. Do you understand? That's my point. So if in law of contract, I think that's what it's called, intention to create legal relationship. And part of the elements of contract is offer, acceptance, and all of that. One of the types of contract we always hear about is what we call oral or parole. We'll just say, okay, my wife, come and handle the 3 businesses. Just handle it, manage the finance, and be funding the home. That's parole. He can wake up any time, all right, and retrieve it. But if there was a proper contractual agreement that contains in it that the CSC document carries his wife's name, she is the owner of the company, oh man, there is no law court that can overturn that.
There might just be a lot to deal with.
Yeah. I wish that I can have a chat with him. All right. Maybe he could send me a message on Messenger, Facebook Messenger. Let us get exhaustively this particular matter. But me, I'm big on if his masculinity is being threatened, if his headship as the head of the family is being threatened, then he has to rise up to the occasion. See, love is not constantly the presence of emotion and soft voice. Part of the aspect of love that sometimes can be overlooked is discipline. Discipline is still part of love.
Whoa.
Discipline is still part of love. The decision to retrieve the company from her until further notice does not connote hatred.
Does not mean he doesn't love her anymore.
I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
I mean, if she's still interested in making the marriage work, they should make the marriage work.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, he did all of those things for peace in the atmosphere. There's always a difference between a home and a house. A house is a building. The home is an atmosphere.
Yeah. Some people will say, Daniel Washington, maybe this is why it's not necessary to prove a point. If people cannot accept you the way you are,
I was going to end with this. I was going to point this. You see, I saw something by one Olumati Isaiah on Facebook. I saw something by one guy on Facebook. He said, even in your benevolence must come with some level of restriction. Another pastor said it on Facebook, and I saw, and I quote, he said, no matter who is asking you for money, never crack your savings. She should love you for who you are, not what you have. Never try to prove yourself to anybody. Whoever send you, send you. Who knows send you, knows send you. Do you understand?
Yes.
I believe that if all that is to the sides of the story is what the man has said,
yeah,
then I think he should take cognizance of what we are saying.
All right.
Respect and love must be earned. If you try to merchandise it, you would constantly, like that kind of lady.
Yeah.
The only way you can win her over moving forward is more money.
All right, we'll pick up from this conversation. Like we said, solution-based Sunday family special. Sending your messages, challenges in the family. We'll pick up from this next week and continue highlighting finances, man, woman, until it's sorted. And until this man has his peace.
I will not also have my own peace. I don't mind if we have to come next week. Not because it's not men supporting men.
Yes.
But
I mean, it's a problem. It needs to be solved.
Do you understand? Yeah. I gave 3 of my businesses to my wife to handle.
Yeah.
And you're telling me you can't even send me money for upkeep. First of all, I fault that particular act.
Yeah.
In particular, I fault it because of the circumstances. Just to earn her trust, you have to do that.
Yeah.
I fault it at a level. And then he's stranded. Family cannot control. No, there's a way around it.
We'll pick up with this conversation. Thank you so much, Daniel Washington.
You're welcome.
And next week, when we continue, you can also send your questions and challenges to 0701-9339-962. It's been Sunday Family Special on Today 95.1 FM. The world news is coming up at 10. I am Queen Chima. Thank you once again, Daniel Washington. Good evening.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Please listen to this paid infomercial.
Herbal Heritage International, the Kokoroko, for herbal medicine, when they produce strong, correct medicine, they take it, they support with country healthcare system. Quatli man, correct, holistic, ogbonge herbal medicine, they we know they come out for public anyhow, like a big basket. Food gram, as every Christmas, a big boundary. Sickness self, sabi medicine will pass them. After all, monkey smart now, because tree near tree is a forest. Heritage International will use the technology of computer testing machine to see and know before attacking that your health condition. We don't become ubaruba for your life with the correct treatment. Therefore, whether definition or without definition, make you visit Herbal Heritage International offices where near you. Herbal Heritage International. Now
Hello and welcome to the program Roots and Herbs. Roots and Herbs is a program that discusses health-related challenges and suggests possible ways out from the herbal medicine perspective. Roots and Herbs is put together and sponsored by Herbal Heritage International, also known as Baba Yoruba. Baba Yoruba is currently having a special promo package. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. This offer runs while the stock lasts at number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. Number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. And at the same time, it will give you the privilege of meeting Baba Yoruba himself at the venue. For details and inquiries, the telephone number to call is 080 33 111 946. I repeat, 080 33 111 946. 080 33 111 946. On today's edition of the program, our topic for discussion is staphylococcal infection. And I have with me in the studio Dr. Otumba Abiodun. Sir, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Staphylococcal infections do occur in the body system when Staphylococcus bacteria enters into the body system and spread within the body system, destroying body cells. Staphylococcus bacteria are majorly of 3 types that can afflict men. But of these 3, the most pathogenic in nature, that is the one that is capable of causing diseases easily in men, is the Staphylococcus aureus, because it is capable of invading body cells, destroying them, causing different pathological changes in the body. When Staphylococcus bacteria spread in the body system, there are a number of changes that one can experience. This can result to burning sensation within the individual, and this can be seen as fever from time to time, or a situation where there is certain hotness coming from within. There can be skin manifestations in staphylococcal infection that can be given one periodic boils or rashes all over the body. In some people, such rashes can come around the pubic region, or even leading to boils that can lead to blisters or even ulcers on the skin. It is possible for one to experience persistent headache in staphylococcal infection because the body fluid is already contaminated. Staphylococcus, as we know, is a form of bacteria. Any bacteria that is capable of spreading in the body system can lead to reactions in the body that can further damage body tissues. And when this occurs, it is possible for one to experience joint pains in form of infective arthritis. Part of this bacteria can spread deep into the tissues of the heart, affecting the valves of the heart. And when this occurs, you discover that there can be palpitation that some will start witnessing as if they have panic attack. When this is allowed to continue in the body system, it is possible for one to start getting tired easily. There are many people, by walking from one pole to another, they get tired, or by doing just something that is not supposed to be that tasking in terms of energy consumption, they discover that it's as if they don't have enough hair where they are located. All this can be as a result of weakness of the heart resulting from infection or spread of this bacteria we're talking about. When this bacteria is able to pollute the body fluid, it is possible for one to witness mouth odor. Mouth odor is a form of changes that is called halitosis, where people will start coming up with breath coming from within that is already polluted. There is no amount of time such people wash their mouth, you discover that the breath coming out is very offensive. All this can be as a result of pollution of the body system. It is possible, if any bacteria is able to dwell so long in the body system, to contaminate the whole body fluid and even damage nerves. When nerves are damaged, there can be tiredness. Not only this, it is possible for men to suffer a lot because this can degenerate to a situation where a man is unable to stand like a real man. When a man is unable to stand like a real man, it is seen as a serious challenge because the whole family can be affected. Part of the joy of the relationship can be stolen, and this can cause different rancors in the family. A man that is unable to stand as he should can find it difficult to get arousal. The desire for opposite sex can disappear, and once that arousal is not there, that is the ignition point. It means such a man will not be able to stand like a real man. In some people, the arousal can be there, but you discover that because nerves have been damaged, the transmission from the upper center down to the power point of man, that is in between his two thighs, can be weakened. When such occurs, you discover that such a man can even get arousal or is able to stand, but the type of standing that he has is not strong enough to help him to even get into the act. In some people, they make efforts to get into the act, but you discover that they are unable to spend more than a minute or more before they are exhausted. Mind you, before a man can be called a real man, such a man must be able to have the arousal as desired and also be able to sustain the energy he has been able to gather for a considerable length of time. That is when such a man can be able to make his partner happy when it comes to man-to-woman interaction. So such men do suffer from this from time to time. It's after knowing the root cause of the challenge that one will be able to know the right step to take for one to be totally free. Whenever you experience anything that we have been able to mention or other things, it's very important for one to visit a competent healthcare giver who will be able to run tests on one and pinpoint where the problem lies and prefer solution. For more enlightenment and advice, the number to call is 080 33 111 946. I repeat, 080 33 111 946. Thank you all.
All right, you've been listening to the program Roots and Herbs. Roots and Herbs is a program that discusses health-related challenges and suggests possible ways out from the herbal medicine perspective. Roots and Herbs is put together and sponsored by Herbal Heritage International, also known as Baba Yoruba. Baba Yoruba is currently having a special promo package. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. This offer runs while the stock lasts at number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. Number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. And at the same time, it will give you the privilege of meeting Baba Yoruba himself at the venue. For details and inquiries, the telephone number to call is 080 33 111 946. I repeat, 080 33 111 946. 080 33 111 946. I repeat, 080 33 111 946. Let's take our sponsor's message. Don't go away. We shall be right back.
Herbal Heritage International, the Kokoroko, for herbal medicine, when they produce strong, correct medicine, they take it, they support with country healthcare system. Countryman, correct holistic ogbonge herbal medicine, they we know they come out for public anyhow like a big basket. Full ground as every Christmas have been boundary. Seeking itself sabi medicine will pass them. After all, monkey smart now because tree near tree is a forest. Heritage International go use the technology of computer testing machine to see and know before attacking that your health condition. We don't become umbarumba for your life with the correct treatment. Therefore, whether definition or without definition, make you visit Herbal Heritage International offices way near you. Herbal Heritage International. Now
You're welcome back to Roots and Herbs. Roots and Herbs is a program that discusses health-related challenges and suggests possible ways out from the herbal medicine perspective. Roots and Herbs is put together and sponsored by Herbal Heritage International, also known as Baba Yoruba. Baba Yoruba is currently having a special promo package. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. This offer runs while the stock lasts at number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. Number 24 Ikwere Road, Mile 1 by Education Bus Stop, Port Harcourt. This promo package will give you the opportunity to enjoy 50% discount on all their products and services. And at the same time, it will give you the privilege of meeting Baba Yoruba himself at the venue. For details and inquiries, the telephone number to call is 080 33 111 946. I repeat, 080 33 111 946. 080 33 111 946. Until we come your way again, remain blessed.
And that was a paid infomercial.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.